Welcome to another riveting episode of Social Sessions, where we delve into the extraordinary lives and captivating stories of individuals who have left a mark on the world. Today we have a truly astounding story that is sure to leave you questioning and amazed. Our guest today is John Plott, a man who believes he is the reincarnation of John the Baptist. Yes, you heard that right. John has a fascinating and somewhat controversial life story that he is here to share with us. From the significant figure he met to the incredible experience he's had, John's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. In this episode, we'll explore John's unique belief in his reincarnation, the evidence he presents, including photos, videos, and newspaper clippings, and the important people he has encountered along the way. His story is based on true events, and while it may sound unbelievable, there is an abundance of proof to support his claims. Ultimately, we'll leave it up to you, the listener. So, welcome to Social Sessions, John. This is a bit of a wild card, this one. I've not done a framework. We're just going to go with the flow. I got a wee phone call for John a while back, so it's been in the making, and his story is incredible. So, we'll just start for the start, John. So, obviously, Paisley, you were born, is it Renfrew or Paisley you were born?
Well, I was born in Johnston. I was born about 400 yards away from William Wallace. So I was born in Johnston, Thornhill Hospital.
Aye.
October the 16th, 1962.
And what was it like growing up there in Renfrew and stuff?
Renfrew, aye. Well, it was Renfrew I was kind of brought up in. Not
Aye.
born in Johnston, but we stayed in Renfrew. In reality, man, I would say about getting brought up, I'm not a guy for violins, but it wasn't that.
Aye.
I mean, childhood memories are, to me, Renfrew was a fucking funny place.
Aye.
I mean,
aye, so it's obviously you're growing up in. Were you privileged? Were you in
certainly
poverty?
No privilege. No, certainly no privilege. Certainly no privilege.
So we kind of brought up in a housing scheme and stuff like that.
Aye, in a housing scheme.
Aye. So what took you on to the kind of stages that led you up to where you're the new? Obviously, we ran through the football team, all this kind of stuff. How did that lead? How did that start, John?
How did the football team start?
No, how did you kind of just start? What happened to your history? How did you become John Plott? Do you know what I mean? How did you become?
I started the football team. It was all to do with, I'd said to you before, I'd messaged you, then you'd phone me. I'd messaged you, you'd phone me, and I'd say to you that I had a prophetic vision,
Aye.
which was true. Mm-hmm. It was something that happened to me in a house on the 29th of August, 1989,
Aye.
where I was in a house with 3 people. 2 people ran to the phone box. One was left in the house with what he believed was a corpse.
Aye. And what happened there? What was the vision you seen, John? What did you see?
Well, that day, I'd need to take it back to the start.
Right.
Because the whole day was strange for the very, very start.
Aye, take it
right
back.
Through. For the start of the day to the end of the day, it was a bizarre day. Obviously, the most bizarre day I've ever went through in my life. Know what I mean? So it started, I'd went to meet my girlfriend at the time. I had to meet her in Paisley. Her name was Sharon, right? She's passed away recently. But so I'd went to meet her in Paisley. And I met her in Paisley. And then we were going up to Foxbar. I was staying in Foxbar at the time. And we were going up there and we met my brother and his mate, and they were kind of hippie dudes, smoked dope, blah, blah, blah. I was more quite, could possibly say aggressive. I was drunk then, they said that I was always dead. Fucking, I was wiry. Only once, as soon as I started taking drink, which I didn't do, I was about 17, and a lot of people might start a wee bit younger than that. But it was like a time bomb boom. I could always protect myself, whatever. So anyway, I'd met Sharon, met my brother, and they were a couple of hippie dudes. I'm going to go into the toilet. And in Paisley, in the centre of Paisley, there was these toilets, and they were like under the ground. It was like Victorian toilets just next to Paisley Town Hall. They're all gated off now, but they were under the ground.
Aye.
I said, I'll bounce in there to the toilet, we'll bounce up to Foxbar. So I bounces into the toilet, and I'm like, there's all sorts of noises coming out of the next cubicle, and I'm like, what's going on there, man? That's bizarre. You know what I mean? It was like, and there was mad things wrote over it, just mentions that young boy who wanted for cock fun meet is here at night at 8 o'clock. And I'm like, fuck that. So I could hear a noise coming out of this cubicle, right? And I'm like, that's bizarre, right? So I've done the toilet and I've stood up to get a bit of toilet paper, right? And I've looked down, there's a big head looking up at me. See the gap at the bottom?
Aye.
There's a big head looking up at me. I'm like, fuck's sake, what's going on here? Strides up, starts kicking the door. Nothing happening. Ran up the stair because there was like 2 sets of stairs. My brother and his mate are there. I was like, get fucking down here. Get down here, right? And as they were coming down, the guy bolted. But he was like fucking bolt like an American football player. He bolted. But he tripped in the top step. We were coming down one set of stairs, he ran out the other set, and he tripped in the top stairs, right? And went flying into the... We were flying into the square at Paisley Town Hall. So I ran up and started booting him at my bar, and he's made like, oh, hold it and all that. But the guy got him and he just kept running, and I chased him. I chased him down by the cart, and he ran out to the Watermill Hotel, and there was gardeners.
And but how did this fight start? Was it just basically like, was something happening in the toilet? Was there something like, what was happening?
Something happened in the toilet. No, when I said to you, I heard all the noises, blah, 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 and I turned around to get a bit of toilet paper to fucking wipe my ass effectively, right? The gap at the bottom of the door, there was a big heat looking up at me.
So
do you know what I mean?
Right.
Know what I mean? He's pure. Whatever he was doing in that toilet, he was fucking, I was going, it sounds, I don't know what's going on in there. And the next cubicle, it was fucking bizarre, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? So I flipped out, right? And I've chased him all the way by the cart, and there was a pitchfork lying there, the council gardeners were there. I've grabbed the pitchfork, and he's jumped into a wee white pickup van, right? And he's done that, he reversed and sped away, and I fucked the thing with the pitchfork, and he's just reversed and sped away. And I was like, what the fuck? My girlfriend, they come up, I'm like, can you go anywhere? She's like, can you go anywhere? You're always fighting. I'm like, fucking hell, man. Can you go for a toilet piece like a fucking mad sex attacker in the toilet? I'm like, get the fuck. I was fucking raging, right? And then this guy appeared out of nowhere. He stayed at the bottom of the road face. It was like, Walter. There was two McCarthys. I'm sure it was Walter. There were two of them. One was just slightly old. Walter, Joe, it was Walter. He appeared, and see back then, you didn't have social media, right? And all the criminology, it was the Paisley Express, what's happening? And he fucking goes, just a couple of brief words with him. I'm still fucking full of rage. And he gave us the Paisley Express. And I just scanned through it, and it said, young boy assaulted in Caledonian Street with a fucking sex attacker. And I'm like, I could have been that guy. Could have been fucking him. Could have been him. Fuck this. I goes, fuck this. I'm going into Mill Street, because we were yards away from it. I went into Mill Street, and I went, hey, this here. I was in that fucking toilet, the fucking Paisley Town Hall there. I goes, that could have been that cunt. I goes, he was driving a white pickup. He's fucking built like an American football player. So I was fucking raging, right? My sister had just died weeks previous. She died on the 23rd of July, and this was the 29th of August. So I was still fucking full of rage. Know what I mean? But anyway, that fucking sparked me off like a fucking madman. So I was like, fuck it, let's go up the road. So not up the road, and this guy styming me, right? He'd split up with his wife, and he'd gone out with this fucking bird, and he'd away into her, and blah, blah, blah. He was older than me, but he was staying in my house at the time, he'd nowhere to stay. So I went up, and they were in the house. Tony Keevens, Linda, they were in the house, blah, blah, blah. Tony's passed away, I know now. So it's like, so I'm telling him all about this, blah, 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 fucking high as a kite. But at that time, I was working with my brother-in-law, and his brother-in-law was a brickies labourer, and he stayed down the road face. His name was Raymond. I went, come on, go down and see Raymond, get a joint. I chill out. We'll go down and see Raymond.
So obviously at this point, obviously you're sober now, John, but at this time in your life, you're drinking and stuff.
Aye. But there was no drink involved this day. There was literally no drink involved this day. I said, I was up to high dogs, high as a kite. I goes, we'll take a walk down and see Raymond. Didn't stay far away from me. Took a walk down to see him, right? But he was half a drink, but he smoked a joint. So me and Tony went to see him, and he had a few kids, 3 or 4 kids. So in his house, didn't stay long in his house. With 2 joints between 3 people. That's exactly what we had. It was 2 joints between 3 people. No drink, no nothing. So I was like, I better go back up the road and see Sharon, right? Let's go. But see, when we were in his house, there was this film on called Cocoon. Right?
See, I know.
Cocoon, right? Aye. So that film was on, right? And see, when you're stoned, you tune right into things. Even though we had 2 joints, but that's what I fucking calmed down for this episode for the day. I was like, so we started walking up the road, right, Raymond? Didn't stay too long. He's got kids, his wife, and all. Lucky if they're an hour, right? Bang, bang, bang. We're right, see you later, Raymond, see you, whatever. Right, we're working with him, my brother-in-law. So, right, so we started walking up the road, and when we started walking up the road, I felt dead strange. I felt pure weird, man. And I was pure tuning into this cocoon. I was like, that's what we're like. We're like cocoons. We're like a fucking... See a caterpillar that dies and it becomes a butterfly. This is like our caterpillar, and we this is the way I was thinking going up the road, right? So I goes up the road, and I still felt dead strange, which is unusual. I mean, I've took whiteys, right? But see, when I took whiteys, I was more a drinker. But I ran about with people that smoked dope, fucking take all sorts of drugs, and joints are getting passed anywhere. But if I'd ever took a whitey, it was after like 15 pints and 10 joints, and you're like, hold on a minute. But so I goes up the road, And,
so this one day, but
this
you had
one day,
you had no drink, you'd only had a wee bit of
there
joint.
was no drink, there was 2 joints between 3 people, so it wasn't even a joint each. He rolled 2 joints, he had 4 kids in the house or whatever. It was like, you're not going to overstay our welcome, let's go. Know what I mean? Because he'd stopped drinking, he was after drinking about 10 years at this time, he was just, know what I mean? So anyway, we had that was fine. We went up the road, felt dead weird, know what I mean? Sat down, because I always went up the road, because my girlfriend, she stayed in Renfrew, so the 2 of us used to get the bus down into Paisley. I'd get her on the bus at Paisley, she would get off the bus and it stopped right outside her house, that was fine. So I was like, better go up the road, get her down the road, whatever, right? So blah, blah, she was left sitting in the house with the other lassie while we went down at Raymond's. But I felt dead weird, right? And I was like, this is fucking weird, man. Feel pure dead funny, right? And then all of a sudden I felt as if I was going to take a whitey, and I'm like, I can't get a whitey, I've only... Know what I mean? It's like,
cut a joint,
a joint, know what I mean? I just felt fucking overwhelmed. I felt as if I just fucking feel dead funny, man. So I went in the toilet, sure as hell I was in the toilet for about 40-50 minutes, spewing shit and pissing, like everything. Cleared my whole system out. Now, see, once you've ever took a whitey, which I took plenty in the past, but it was also, it was any whitey I'd ever took, it was excessive drink, and excessive smoking dope and tapper, right? Excessive, right? But once you take a whitey, you've cleared all your system out. You're as right as rain.
After
you've took, well, I didn't have any, I basically had fuck all, but I was in there for 45 minutes. So whatever I took the whitey, know what I mean? So that was fine. So I came out and I sat down. And Sharon was getting a bit agitated, as if we need to go, John, right? As if it was getting close to time for me to get a bus or whatever, right? And I was like, I sat down, right? And then all of a sudden I heard this buzzing sound in my ear, right? It was like fucking buzzing. It was pure buzzing. I was like, fucking hell, what's going on here? Right? And it ended up, it became like a hurricane, right? It was like a fucking hurricane in my ear, getting louder and louder and louder. I stayed in the top flat at one point, I thought I was going to dive through the window. You know what I mean? The 2 lassies were sitting across from me, and Tony was sitting next to me, right? And I was like, that's buzzing, right? See, after that, it started, my whole life started coming in front of me, like, as if I was judging myself. And it hadn't been as good as I thought it'd been in my own life. But my whole fucking life is coming in front of me like, and I was like, I could hear that Sharon speaking like, we need to go. And I basically get out the words, I'm dying. I was like, faintly said, I'm dying. You know what I mean? And I seen the 2 lassies greeting, and they ran out the house. They ran, because we never had mobile phones back in that day. So they fucking ran to the phone book. She went and phone her mother, something rang with John, and the guy Tony was left in the house, mate, right? So it's like, they've ran out the house. This is happening, right? And it was all that... right? And then all of a sudden the room just started lighting up, and it was getting brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter, and it was like a fucking journey to the centre of the sun, but only you were encompassed with love, no hangway. No, it wasn't like it was like the tunnel, the cleansing process. You went through all that. You'd went through all that, and basically it was like, as I said, it was like a journey to the centre of the sun. I'd came into contact with the light of Christ. I'd came into contact with the light of Christ. You know what I mean? And it's like, you are the messenger, the whole world will acknowledge you. And I tell you earlier on the pub, which I'll say later on the podcast, about the John the Baptist thing that had been following me all my life, right? So it was like, this all get revealed to me, right? You are the messenger, the whole world will acknowledge you.
So this is like, so this is obviously like, you hear like obviously stories of near-death experiences. And people, and people obviously get, so this is kind of what you've had here, like you've had that, but for whatever reason it was just whatever period of time. It wasn't even because were you dying, or was it just?
Well, to me, I was dead. To me, I was gone. The guy that was left in the house, the lassies didn't see what he seen.
Right.
He believed he was left with a corpse. He believed he was left sitting with a corpse for at least 5-10 minutes. He said, you were gone. You were gone. He goes, he was about 40 at the time. He goes, I've never, ever been so terrified in all my life.
Were you waiting or that, blue and all that? Were you like...
He went like, this is what he said, he was sitting there, because years later, when it all started to unravel and started to come together, I went out to see him, and I went, Tony, what did you see that night? As if this is game time now. He's like, what did you see that night? And as I said, he was about 40 at the time, early 40s. And he went, John, I've never, ever been so terrified in all my life. He said, I was digging my nails into your wrist and I was going, don't go, John, don't go, John. And he said, you went grey and your eyes rolled to the back of your head. He said, I thought you were off your pop. I thought you were gone. It's the exact words he said. I thought you were gone.
Oh, you think that?
I thought I was holding, basically I thought I was holding on to a corpse, right? That's it. I thought you were gone. He said you went and he said you were out it for a good 5-10 minutes. You were out it. He said you were gone. He said, but then you started to come round. He said, he goes, then you started to come round. And he goes, and you started saying, I was dead there. He said, and you were talking a language. He said, you were talking a language. He said, it was coherent. It was a language, but it wasn't a language I understood. But it was a coherent language, and you were talking this language, and you were saying, I was dead there. I mean, so
what kind of, are you thinking it was like Sumerian language, or what do you know?
I don't know. What did they say? Speaking in tongues or something? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea, because it was, he's the only one that was, he's the one that's seen that. The lassie's come back. Now,
so you've got no knowledge of this kind of thing? Aye.
Well, this started about 9 o'clock. Sharon used to get a bus. It was either 9:30, I think was the last bus. 9:30, whatever. It was about half. So this started, the whole episode started at back at 9. And then I think I was delirious the whole night. I think through mental exhaustion. Sharon had to stay out. She'd phoned her ma, something wrong with John. You better go back and see if he's all right, blah, blah, blah. And I was terrified to close my eyes again. I goes, that's fucking a bit. I was delirious. It was through mental exhaustion. We ended up, fell asleep. As soon as the crack of dawn hot, at 7 o'clock in the morning, she was up and out. She's like, I need to get out of here. She bolted. And then Tony maybe came in about fucking back at 8:15, 7:30, whatever. He was got to go to his work. He's a joiner. He's like, right. He was pure. They were all fucking scared. Linda stayed on all, but she nobody would say anything. They were all freaking out. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? I goes, that is unreal.
So what in obviously, what would you say in your kind of interpretation of that, John? What would you say happened there?
Well, MD I've met in the last 30 years, if somebody says, what'd you do? I was like, what'd you do? I goes, MD asked me, I goes, I'm a prophet. A guy wrote a story in the big issue, The Prophets Are Through. When I go to my bed tonight, I'll be a prophet. So when I wake up in the morning, I'll still be a prophet. Not because I get drunk and stoned and just decided to become a fucking prophet. Because on the 29th of August 1989, I died in front of 3 people. I came into contact with the light of Christ and the future was revealed to me. And for 4 years after that, nothing happened. Nothing at all happened. It was just me with this at the back of my head, tank in the back of my head, like, when is this going to happen? How can this happen? When can it happen? When will this ever happen? I knew it was real. It'd been following me all my life. It'd been following me since before I was born. Then it was revealed to me.
When you were younger, you kind of felt different and stuff.
This is how it initially started. This is what it led up to. And 4 years later, this is when it all started to come to fruition. So, in 1962, my mum was pregnant with me. She went in to see my father's brother. He was on his deathbed. His name was Hugh. He died early February 1962, where it was his 6th or 7th, round about that time, early February. My mum could tell me, she goes, I was 3 weeks pregnant with you at the time. I goes, how do you know? She goes, because we moved into a new house on the 17th of January, and you were born 9 months to the day. Well, you were born at 5 to midnight on the 16th of October, 9 months later, as if you were staying in a bed set with 3 kids. We moved in there, and you were born 9 months. We moved in there on the 17th, and you were, so anyway, that is the 17th of January. He died early February, but he died in the old he died in the old RAH up in Paisley. Right, it was up the top of Nielsen Road, the old RAH, right? So they were very religious. My auntie Cathy, my mum was convent and educated. They too, the families were religious, right? That's it. So they went to see you. He was on his deathbed. He's passing away. His sister's standing at the end of the bed, and my mum's standing where, right? And he was like, "Look, Mary, look, Cathy, here's John the Baptist. He's came to get me." But they start greeting like he's came to get me. He's came to get me. They're like, "What the hell?" Right? And then he passed away. They left the hospital. I believe that when they left the hospital, they're going, we believe you had an apparition in his deathbed of John the Baptist, right? So I was born 9 months later. My granny, the grannies were always a big chief. My granny's like, you need to call him you after my son has just died. She goes, no, got to call him you, got to call him John. Got to call him John.
So did he when he had the apparition, did he did he tell your family, I just seen John the Baptist before he died?
This was on his deathbed. They were stunning. He was dying. He was passing away, and he's gone, look, Mary, look, Kathy, there's John the Baptist. He's came to get me. There's John the Baptist. He came to get me. He's probably delirious, and they're just
of course, I know what you mean.
They're stunned at the end of the bed, like, what the hell's going on? But they were very religious, man. Kathy was never out of the chapel. They were very religious people.
The strange thing is obviously we've spoke before, and you were born on the same day as John the Baptist, is that right?
No, I will tell you what happened. No, the prophetic vision happened on the 29th of August, which years later I found out was the anniversary death of John the Baptist. But I'll tell you how this all came about. Right, so anyway, so I get called, right, John, right? You had a brother, Frank was my dad, and my Uncle John, but my Uncle John, when I was away, and he used to go, there's John the Baptist, there's John the Baptist, and all that. It's his brother, the apparition, there's John the Baptist. And see, at the time, even when I was away, I felt as if there was a fierce torture spirit burning a fucking hole through me. I've been as you said, what was it like getting brought in rent for it? I faced a hell of a lot of rejection, right? But the only people that maybe ever praised me up was my dad. My dad always goes, there's John, a man amongst men. And I think it made my oldest brother, that made him jealous as if I'm the oldest. But all this was getting put on there's John's a man amongst men, whatever. So anyway, I had this thing going through me. I felt there was something going on right from a very, very young age. You go to school, I had a wee stutter. I was a wee bit of a stutter, and I was like a wee bit nervous. You go to school, school wasn't, I could never say school was great. There was an in crowd. I wasn't part of the crowd because, as I said, personally, my head was fried with school. My head was fried. My head was out the window. I was sitting where I was sitting at the window, my head was out the window. Know what I mean? It was fucking, as I said to you, ABC 1, 2, 3, where's my master's degree? I wasn't bothered. I wasn't listening. My head was out the window. I was always like a dreamer. Know what I mean? It's like Albert Einstein says, imagination's the most powerful tool known to man. I've got some fucking toolbox, I'll tell you. Know what I mean? But I didn't feel as if I needed a bit of paper. I wasn't listening. I wasn't part of the in crowd. I used to walk about school, kick a can, run about. I found it hard to connect with them all. They were all really good people. The people in my primary class all still run about to this day, 55 years later. It was brilliant. That's brilliant. Know what I mean? But I wasn't part of that in crowd. I had this same thing going on. I had this thing going on.
Didn't have an easy time at school. It was like...
I could never be bullied. I always stood up for myself. I was a tiny wee guy, always stood up for myself. Specifically, once I got to about 18, there was a line drawn there. I'm going, I don't give a fuck who you are or who you're connected to. That means fuck all to me. Nothing whatsoever.
Because obviously, like some of the stuff you sent me, right? Obviously, I was looking through, I was reading some of the stuff, and obviously we'll kind of touch on some of that later. But I mean, it's some of the stuff you've done is pretty. I mean, obviously, like the Bob, I will go into it, but like the Bob Geldof thing and all that. I mean, when you first told me your story, I must admit I was like, I don't know, this sounds a bit crazy, you know.
That OTT.
But then when you started sending me the photos and the stuff like that, I was intrigued. I was really intrigued, and I don't usually people contact you and stuff, and I don't usually, but I was really intrigued in how did these things happen, John? Obviously, in my age, it looks as if you're kind of riding the law of attraction. Do you know what I mean? You're riding that. But just for the viewers, just some of the stuff that you've actually like winged and done. But obviously we'll put up some photos and we'll put up some thing where we're going to put the podcast out. But just some of the things you've done for the viewers, just so they know, like some of the things that have came your way.
Right, I'll say, right, so I had this prophetic vision, right? You are the messenger, the whole world will acknowledge you. So for 4 years after it, nothing happened. Right, my whole life was crumbling round about me. Stabbed, caused, jailed, relationships, everything was falling apart. I was left on my own. I'd fuck all. I'd nothing. I was on my own. I was on my arse. But as I said, I knew this was real, and I was pushing it to the limit. I was putting myself in constant danger. I was putting myself like, I don't give a flying fuck. My head's fried with this. Right, so that was my attitude, as if that was real. When's it going to happen? So like about 4 years later, just before that, about a year before that, my godmother, right, she was like a director at the Talbot Association. It was a charity that helped homeless, down and outs, people with nowhere to go. They had units all over Glasgow. They had one at Harry Ramsden's. They had them all over the place. They had one away up by Celtic Park. They had one in Garthamlet. So I did all these units. She was a director. She was my godmother. She was my Uncle John's eldest daughter. She'd been to uni. She was a big chief. John, you come work with us. So it was like nepotism. So she got me a job. she gets me this job, started night shift in the Talbot Association, walks in the door, this wee guy was sitting at the steps, Tommy Fairfield was his name. How you doing, mate? Blah, blah, blah. Had a couple of wee words with him. Then I went in and I sat down in the staff room. Right, this is what we have today. Then Tommy Fairfield came into the staff room. And he went, you all right, mate? Did you get sorted out? I went, what do you mean I sorted out? Did you get a bed? No, it's sorted out. I goes, no, I'm working here. He goes, are you working here? I went, aye, I'm working here, mate.
He thought you were a punter.
Aye, he thought I was one of the trips because I can connect.
Aye.
It's like, I heard you saying about the funeral you gravitated towards.
Aye.
So I can connect with people like that, especially people in Zululand. You know what I mean? So anyway, I've connected with him, so that's fine. So I've worked there for about 18 months, maybe longer, right?
Aye.
But I'm pure mad. I'm fucking running about like a headbanger. Even when I'm going out, I can get paid. I'll take a few of these guys into the pub and I'm taking them into the pub and they're going, they can't get served. And I'm like, what do you fucking mean they can't get served? Get the fuck, blah, blah. So they're going, this cunt's crazy. So my godmother, Margaret, she's like, John, we're going to move you. We're going to move you up to, it's called the Good Shepherd School. It's way up by Celtic Park, just by the social club. There was a graveyard and in the middle, it was this thing called the Good Shepherd. I think it was an old convent. You're getting moved away up there. So I'm like, oh, no bother, right? So Tommy Fairfield's still there. And I'm like, Tommy, I'm getting moved. And Tommy all used to do these drawings with cranes. And he's gone, I've sent 100 sunflowers to the Queen and 100 sunflowers to Jimmy Boyle. I grew up with him in the Gorbals and all that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no bother. And he go, I'm going to do you a drawing, John, right? I'm going to do you a drawing. I was like, right, no bother, right? I was like, no bother. No. Just before my sister died, I went in my house one day and my ma's, but I was still staying up in Foxbar, and in my ma's, and I could see she was full of fucking drugs now. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? She's like, I've got a special relationship with Christ. She says, you're an angel. And it was as if I see that fucking film Ghost, it's as if a ghost walked right through me and the hair stood in the back of my neck. I was plugged in. I'm going, maybe she knows. I don't know what's fucking this. This was before I'd had division, but I'd always did this thing that one day my life was going to change. You know what I mean? So I was like that, and then I took her to see Diana Ross. My girlfriend. We went to see Diana Ross, and we were in it was like, see the Rotunda, with the big crane over the top. We were in that. It was a pub restaurant at the time, so we went in there before we went in SSCC, and we were just sitting there, and a bomb just dropped on my head, just like, boom, she's going to die. She was only 19. I was like, fuck's sake. I was like, what the fuck? And I started greeting my girl. We went to a concert, man. What's wrong with me, John? I was like, shut the fuck up, man, as if, what the fuck, man? I just, boom, I knew it. And then she died a couple of weeks later, right? So, I'm leaving, and Tommy Fairfield's like, John, this drawing, right? So he gave me this drawing, right? And it was the crane. See the crane with the rotunda underneath it? He goes, don't lose that. I went, no bother. I started my shift, right? He signed it, Tommy Fairfield and Cranes, right? Blah, blah, blah. Done it all. And it was a decent drawing, right? Don't lose that. So I put it up in a filing cabinet. The top of a filing cabinet. Done my shift, went to take it off the filing cabinet the next morning, it's gone. I'm like, what the fuck happened to that drawing? I don't know if any staff seen me putting it there or something. I don't know what happened. It had gone. It had gone. So the next day, still there a couple of days before I leave, he's like, did you take that drawing home, John? I went, Tommy, it's fucking gone. The next day it was gone. He goes, I'm going to do another drawing, don't lose this one. And I've still got it to this day, the other one, right? He goes, don't lose this one. I was like, no bother. Right? So, when my sister died, she got moved for the Paisley RH out of Western Infirmary behind the Kelvin Grove Art Gallery, right? So she get moved out there. So me and my brother and my brother-in-law, we had to go and identify her in the morgue, right? It was like in a screen, and it was in a screen, and it's a morgue just behind the. I know you. It was there, right? So we had to go there. So we went there. And he went like to us, you need to come back in an hour. You need to come back in an hour. Because we're not ready yet. We're not set up. Know what I mean? Come back in an hour. So we went, what we got to do? So fuck it, we'll just go down there and we'll go and ask Art Gallery for a wee bit, right? So we went in there, maybe a wee hour, whatever. Left, come back, right? Went in. I goes, you just go and see her on the screen. I don't know why I see her on the screen. So I'll see her in the coffin. So anyway, you go and see her on the screen. So they identified that. So, right, it's fine. But see, years later, see the first drawing he done, right? Was the rotunda, right? No, was the crane with the rotunda, right? See the second drawing he done, which I've still got to this day, right? It was a Kelvin Grove Art Galleries with 3 wee matchstick figures walking in the front door. There's no other figures in it, just 3 figures walking in the door. And I'm going, so the first fucking drawing he done was the rotunda where the penny drop, she's going to die. The second drawing was the Hurricane Hingway.
The Kelvin Grove.
The Kelvin Grove with the three figures. I'm going, that's me, my brother and my brother-in-law walking in the front door. You know what I mean? I've still got that one to this day. So this was like 4 years after I had the prophetic vision. I'm like, this is signs, I'm picking them up. It's game time now. I mean, this is starting to come together. And I met a lassie one time, and I was out not long before I'd stopped drinking. And it was a lassie I'd went to school with. I'd said that in a meeting the other day, it was a lassie at work, but wasn't it? It was a lassie I'd went to school with. She's like, what are you up to now, John? Her name's Debbie. I was like, oh, fuck knows, Debbie, man. I goes, I'm going to get involved in something really dangerous. She goes, I might even get murdered. She goes, you'll not get murdered, John. The arrows will bounce off your back. I went, aye, right, Debbie, sorry, well, it's effing God that's fired me into this. Know what I mean? So, anyway, so I gets moved away up to this place, up to this convent school, whatever it's called, the Good Shepherd. I gets moved. I'm there about a week. I'm not even there. I'm certainly not there any more than 2 weeks. I'm there a week, 2 a max. But there's all these mad, bizarre coincidences starting to happen, right? All these mad, bizarre coincidences are starting to happen. I'd say to you, Albert Einstein, coincidences, God's why I remain anonymous, right? So all these mad, bizarre... So I'm like, this is all starting to come to fruition.
We spoke about synchronicity and stuff, and so do you think these things were starting to come together now? Is this the time when the story started to kind of grow?
This is when it started to come together, and I goes, I need to get half drink now, and I need to shout for the rooftops. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm a prophet, and then people were writing about it in the big issue of the prophecy. But anyway, so I'm in this work for a week to 2 weeks max, if it is that. This guy out of nowhere, who I'm lucky if I've done 2 shifts with, or 3 shifts or whatever, I literally don't know him. I'm just there. We're in a staff changeover. I'm finished my shift. He's starting his shift. He's standing me next to this other big boy. His named Colin, who was a saxophone player for a Glasgow group, H2O. He's standing with him, and he turns around and he says to me, and he's shaking like a washing machine. He turns around and says to me, what, do you know anything about John the Baptist? And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it? My soul screamed out like, fuck. How does he know about this? How does he know about this? Nobody had mentioned John the Baptist. My dad died in 1974. My uncle John died a year or 2 later, maybe 75, 76 latest. And he was the one that got essay after that. Nobody ever mentioned the word John the Baptist. And this is going away into 1993, right? And he's saying to me, do you know anything about John the Baptist? But this is 4 years after I'd had the prophetic vision, and the whole thing revolved around about John. I'm like, is this what this was all about? So he says to me, do you know anything about John the Baptist? So I was like to him, I used to get called that when I was younger. He's like, that even blew his head off me. Yeah, it blew his head off me. So he's like, he became obsessed with me.
So what made him say that to you?
Well, he became obsessed to the point of... No, baby. Well, it just became obsessed, right? The thing they knew is Baby Reindeer. It was crazy. This obsession this guy had with me, as in like, it was beyond belief. I was like, this is heavy duty. This is heavy duty.
Was it like back. Baby Reindeer stuff? Was it?
No, it was beyond belief. It was beyond belief. He was asking me hundreds of questions. Where were you born? When were you born? What's your confirmation name? I'm like, I don't know my confirmation name. I'm like, Mum, what's my confirmation name? Ninian after St. Ninian. He's come down my house all the time. He's gone to my ma. How does it feel to be the mother of the greatest? And my mum's looking like, what the fuck's going on here, John? I was like, I don't know this guy.
And did you even know?
When he was asking me questions about John the Baptist, the first thing he said, do you know what? I goes like that. God's effing kicked his door in and tell him. He's telling him. But he said, well, this is me speaking in layman's terms that people can understand. God's frazzled him and told him about this. So he said to me, can you come to Carfin Grotto with me? Now, when he said, can you come to Carfin Grotto with me? I could honestly say, I'd never heard this place in my life. I'd never heard them ever mentioning it. I came from a religious background or whatever. I'd never heard Carfin Grotto, but he said, can you come there with me? But it was like the next day, sitting in the car park waiting on me. It was a summer's night. We drove out there. And he's like, this is like a mini Lourdes, blah, blah, blah. And it's, when we went there, he went one way and I went the other way. And I went all the way right round. And there was a clutch of statues. I went in all the way right round, then there was a clutch of statues, and there was a statue of John the Baptist there, and I was like, is this what you want me to see? But he didn't want to say anything. whatever had happened to him had blew his head away, had fried his, had frazzled him.
Did you feel attracted to the John Baptist statue? Did you feel energy for it, or was it like what was the?
Well, I just went all the way round. I came to a statue. As I goes, "That's what you want me to see?" Because he'd asked me, "Do you know anything about John the Baptist?" And I said, "I'd get called that when I was younger. I'd had the prophetic vision, and it had all revolved round about John the Baptist. Is this what this whole John the Baptist thing that's been following me all my life is about?"
So he's took you there, and you've completed the journey again at John the Baptist statue.
No, I pointed right, so he didn't want to say it, and whatever had happened to him, he was saying nothing. But this boy had trained to be a priest.
Right.
He'd been an altar boy all his life, then he'd been to Scotch college in Rome, then he'd trained to be a priest, then he'd stepped away at the last minute, just before he was meant to get ordained, he'd stepped away and went, "I'm not ready for this." And he'd stepped away. So he was a theologian, a religious boy, he'd never had a drink in his life, and something had... The people we were working with were like, "Hold on a minute, Andy's an intelligent boy, never had a drink in his life, can't he meet a nicer guy? This guy, John's appeared, and Andy's turned into a fruitcake. What's happened here?" Know what I mean? I was running 13 miles to my work and 13 miles back, training for a bloody London I was training for a London Marathon. I'd joined Count Athletic to get half drink. Know what I mean?
So would you think your take? What's your take on what happened to him then?
Well, after everything happened, right, he was obsessed that I should go to Rome with him. So the guy that I was working with, his name was Raymond, and he was 18 years sober. I'd went to Count Athletic, they'd shut the door on me. I did face rejection all my life. They'd tell me F off and all. So I'd said to the guy who's 18 years sober, I was like, "Ramy, I'm struggling." And AA wasn't for me, cups of coffee, and that Count Athletic was dead physical, fit my team, marathons, all that. I wanted to go there. I was passing it in the bus and I was like, "I need to get in there." I'd read about it in the papers and I goes, "I need to get in there." Know what I mean? So I'd went and they'd more or less tell it was F off. Know what I mean? And I was like, so I'd say to the guy, Raymond, and Raymond went like, "I was brought up with Davy Bryce. I'll phone Davy, but it wasn't Davy that never tell me not to come in, it was somebody else." But that's irrelevant. So he phoned Davy, going, "Oh, I've got a boy here, he's a bit fucking done in me a drink, he's had enough." I bring him down. I think them saying I couldn't get in made me, because I better dig in here, right? So anyway, he got us down, he got us in, right? Let me tell him, he's still here. Know what I mean? So that was fine. So I was in there and that was it. Know what I mean? And then this guy kept going on about me going to Rome with him. So the Raymond had set me up with this bird, right? He goes, he was like to me, "My girlfriend's got a hairdresser. As this lassie works there, a really beautiful lassie. You take her out on a date night, right? So we all went out a wee foursome, the Grand Old Opry or something, right? Blah, blah, blah." So I started going out with this lassie and I'm going, "I'm a prophet." And she's like, "What?" I goes, "No, I'm not kidding on, a real fucking prophet." I think she's like, "Fuck, I've not known any prophets before. It's a new one." I think she's like, "This is too much." But that Andy guy, right, he's gone like, "Can I drive you and your girlfriend to Rome?" Right? And she knew him. Because she stayed in planes near and I never had a fucking driving licence. So he would pick her up and bring her to my house or get her run home or do whatever, right? So it was like...
and you went to Rome, didn't you?
But this is what happened, right? So he was like, "Can I drive you and your girlfriend to Rome?" So I said to this lassie, "That Andy guy wants to drive us two to Rome." She goes, "Don't you go to Rome, ma'am, he fancies you." I goes, "He fucking knows who I'm I don't know how he knows about it. He knows who I'm what's happened to me. I don't know how he knows." Right? But I ended up going like that. We were in work and he couldn't have met a nicer guy and he's like, "John, I need to see this." Now, "What is Andy?" He's going, "I love you." I'm like, "That's fucking hold on a minute, mate. I'm just coming off drink. I've fucking been fighting all my life. I'm trying to get my head sorted out and he's frying me with all this and he's doing it at my house and my ma and I'm just, he was there all the time and I'm just like, "Andy." So I ended up like him. I goes, "Andy, I don't want to go to Rome. You need to stop this, carry on.
Give me my space."
No, I don't want to go to Rome. End of story. I don't want to go to Rome. I've no birth lines, I've no passport, I've lost all that in my fucking chaotic lifestyle. I've got nothing. I don't want to go to Rome, just leave it. Right, and ended up splitting up that lassie and she's like, "Fuck, I've not been out any prophets. This is too bizarre. And my head's frying. This is too crazy." My head was frying with it, know what I mean? I was like, "This is bizarre. People think I've lost the plot here and this is crazy." So I ended up, one day I comes in my house, right? I comes in from my work and he's sitting in my house with my bra, right? Stayed down in Knothall Road in Renfrew. And I stayed down there and I came in and he was sitting in the house and he's went like, "John." I was like, "What is it, Andy?" He goes, "I've been to Johnson. I've got a set of your birth lines. He went like, "I've been to Johnson. I've got a set of your birth lines. I booked us on a flight to Rome. I booked us into Scotch College in Rome where all the priests train because I know them all." And he said, "And Scotland's playing a World Cup match. We'll go and see Scotland. I know you love Scotland. We'll go and see Scotland." And he goes, and I booked you an appointment with the passport
as soon
office.
as the football come in, you were like, right, that changed, I'll go now.
See when he was doing all that, I knew he knew. I was like, he knows.
Aye.
He knows about this.
Aye.
He knows about this. You know what I mean? He knows about this. When he went to all that extreme, I was like, we need to go here. We need to go. Know what I mean?
So there was something pushing you
What?
to go to Rome? There was something like telling you need to go to Rome?
I knew how to go, but the people we were working with were talking behind my back. I think they thought he's too he's too hyper.
You can see why, like, obviously people would be, it's because it's an extraordinary story, do you know what I mean? So you can see why people would obviously have that opinion, but obviously as the story goes on, you go to Rome and some crazy things happen in Rome
So what happened? So ends up we go to Rome, right? But when he parks his motor at Glasgow Airport, I think he'd booked us into a Scotch college for 3 or 4 days, whatever it was, right? When he parked his motor, he said to me, when you meet the Pope, stare deep in... But he said to me, when you meet the Pope, stare deep into his eyes, right? That's what he said. Didn't he elaborate on it? When you meet the Pope, stare deep into his eyes. So I was like, the two is on the same synchronicity here. This is what we're going to. We're going to meet the Pope. That's why I'm going. Because the people were talking behind my back and work and saying to that guy Andy, John thinks he's going to Rome to meet the Pope. Nothing to do with a football match. Who's this cunt think he is? He's a fucking screwball. My attitude was like, he'll know him here. If he doesn't know him here, he's a charlatan. That's it. That was the level of confidence I was operating at. I'm going, he will know I'm here. If he does not know I'm here, he's a charlatan. End of story. I think the last fucking guy's out of you. So anyway, we went to Rome, blah, blah, blah. He gets his tickets for an open air mass, right? Ends up, it's the 13th of October, right? 1993. Supposedly, the Templars get chased to Scotland on the 13th of October, 1307. They were followers of John the Baptist, the Knights Templar, blah, blah, blah. In the Da Vinci Code, there was a direct blood. In the Da Vinci Code, it's like, did they come with a treasure that's hurrying? No. Whereby in the Da Vinci Code, it's did they come with a treasure that's buried in Roslyn Chapel?
The bloodline.
It's like, well, if you ever watch the film, at the start of the film, when they're ready to kill that curator, the curator, and he starts talking in Latin about a secret, then they kill him, and straight away it scans onto a painting of John the Baptist hang behind his head, Salome, who was the daughter that said, I want the head of John the Baptist. So he starts talking about a secret, and it's his head getting held. As soon as he gets killed, it scans onto that. Then at the end of the movie, Tom Hanks arrives in Roslyn Chapel and saying, oh, you could be a direct bloodline. Then he cuts himself shaving and the bloodline trickles down the hangway, right? Anyway, so where were we? So we go to Rome. He's like, when you meet the Pope, stare deep into his eyes. The people in the work are going, he ain't got to Rome to meet the Pope, right? So we went there. And there was this painting called The Creation of Man with Michelangelo. It was the centre point in Sistine Chapel. It was everywhere. It was in fridge magnets. It was in T-shirts. It was advertised. It was subliminal. It was everywhere. He could see I was taking on with this. He says, what do you make of that? I goes, it looks like that E.T. thing to me. Looks like a transfer of energy. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like.
So obviously I'm a big believer in energy and stuff like that as well, John, and Tesla, all that kind of stuff. I love Leonardo da Vinci and stuff. So obviously this is driving you, and you've been told you're going to meet the Pope, and does that happen?
Aye, exactly the way I've seen it. So the Pope, so we're there. We're in this open air mass. Even though it was October, it was October and it was still dead sunny. And there was like these big giant speakers all over the place in the Vatican, all these big speakers, and there's hundreds of wee voices come through. I must be obedient. So I started laughing as if I was creating it in my mind, how's this going to happen? And I kind of dozed off and he went, you all right, John? I was like, Andy, I'm meditating, I'm trying to make this happen. So the Pope came out in a Pope mobile and going round the square, St. Peter's Square, and he's like, run down there. I goes, I'm not chasing the Pope round St. Peter's Square in a Pope mobile. I'm just sitting where I fuck him up. I'm just sat here. I'll just sit here, man. That's it. I'll just sit here. Right? So ends up, the Pope does his mass up on a big podium, comes down off the podium, goes behind these stairs, and then starts blessing all sorts of nuns and all that, right? Now, back then, 30 years ago, Pope John Paul, who had picked to be the Pope on the 16th of October 1978, the conclave had elected him as the Pope on the 16th of October 1978. Coincidentally, it was my 16th birthday. But anyway, he comes marching out to me, but he was dead power. He wasn't like an old infirm guy. He just comes marching right out to me, right? And that Andy stand behind me and said, put your horn out, don't do it for the Pope, John. Know what I mean? He just came out, but he came like, see the distance that we're free. But everybody's trying to grab him, but he kept that space. He kept that space. And then I just moved forward. He was standing behind me, put your horn out, John, don't do it for the Pope. And I just done that. I put my hand out and he just stepped forward.
You need to pull the mic.
I just done that. I just stretched forward and he just done that. He just done that with his fingers.
Touched
just done. No, it was a sign of the cross. He just done that. He just done that like twice. It was just. And then he just done that and walked away. And I was like, fucking. It's exactly.
And obviously there's photos.
There's photos because we later that night or whatever I think before we went to the football, we went back to the Scotch College and somebody said, there'll be pictures in the Vatican in this. It's like this special room in the Vatican. It was all glass cabinets and reels and reels and reels of film. So he's like, we have a wee magnifying glass like this. He's gone there. Right? So he gets the photos, right? So it wasn't a digital cameras. You can get them printed straight away. So we got them, said, I will purchase them, blah, blah, blah. Right? And all that. But we couldn't collect them for a few days and we were away by then. So he gave the receipt to a priest who's now the Bishop of Paisley, John Keenan. He sent a letter out said, with the photos. He said, it was an inspiration to, what John said, it was an inspiration to meet you. He taught me a few lessons because I'd met him a few times in the college a few days we were there. So he sent the photos out anyway. But the photos turned out the exact way I'd seen it in the painting. The exact way I'd seen it was the exact way it turned out.
I've seen the photos. I obviously,
so,
this is this type of stuff. This is what maybe drew me to bringing you on the podcast, is because there is extraordinary stuff happening here like that, and then these things are taking place, so they're manifesting. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, right, so you meet the Pope. What happens next?
So we meet the Pope, right? So I would say, right, I was in Carlton Athletic, we done a half marathon. The first person I met before I met the Pope, Muhammad Ali, in the space of a month, was we went to do the half marathon. That Jimmy Savile was there. I was like, I put him in a headlock. I was like, all right, you'll come, right, blah blah blah. So I met him, right, and I'm like, this is years later. I'm going, so this happened the same day as you had that episode with that fucking mad cunt in that toilet, blah, 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 first person you met, right? Because see, to me, Jimmy Savile is like a dam buster, a guy that a trickle becomes a flood. Know what I mean? A trickle becomes a flood, right? So I can go back further into my past, blah, 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 fucking maybe people's houses you shouldn't have stayed in or whatever. So anyway, we'll back onto this. So we've met the Pope, right? Next day we're flying home. He'd booked all the flights. David Bryce wrote in his book, I met Pele in Orly Airport. I'd never heard of Orly Airport. It must have been an airport he was familiar with. We'd flew back via Charles de Gaulle Airport. So we'd stopped there.
Is that where you met Pele in there?
So we'd stopped there, right? I don't know if we're stopping 3 years, whatever, we're waiting a transfer. So we're in this airport and I went, Andy, I goes, I'm away to the toilet, right? So I goes to the toilet, right? Goes to the toilet and I was walking back, right? I'm walking back. He's sitting in a coffee shop. I'm walking back, right? Who's walking straight towards me? Pele, just with one other guy. I'm like, for fuck's sake, there's Pele, right? And I'm like, oh, Pele, and I'm grabbing his horn. And I'd read maybe a couple of weeks previous, he said he was healing people, he touched them or whatever. And it was like, fucking, I was like that. But he was in a hurry as if rushing for a hangway. And then I ran back to the coffee shop, I was like that. Because we never had mobile phones back then for a snap. I was like, but he had a camera and I was like, Andy, fucking hell, ran back to the coffee shop, just met Pele, I'd never believe it. Day after I get blessed with, because I was a fucking, Pele was my era, before Maradona, right? So anyway, this chance meeting with Pele, fucking runs back, Andy, come on, hurry up, run. We tried to get up to the gate where I thought he'd went through, but he was gone. I was like, I just can't fucking believe that. I just can't believe that. So anyway, that's fine, right? But
and then what was Muhammad Ali one?
The Muhammad Ali one was bizarre beyond belief. I mean, right, so you can go to Rome, there's a chance meeting, you'll get blessed with the Pope, right? There's probably back then, 30 years, the population of the world is 7 billion. So there's a 7 billion chance that you meet fucking Pele in the airport the next day. But the Muhammad Ali one was unreal. It was like, I was up in Glasgow, right? I'm going through all this turmoil. I'm like, fucking God's kicked my door in to go and save the world, and every cunt thinks I'm fucking a fruitcake. This is fucking bizarre. This is crazy shit. And I'm like, so I'm up in Glasgow one day. With my mate, Big Andy McMurray. And I'm heading to this place called St Paul's Multimedia Bookstore. It's just off George Square. It's a religious bookstore. I don't even know what I'm going for, but I'm heading up there because I'm trying to fucking research into what the fuck's happening here. What's going on? Right? So I'm with him. He's not stopped drinking, but I've stopped drinking. So we're just walking just round the corner for it in Watterson's bookstores across for the central station at the corner of Union Street, I think it was at that time, right? It's just, so just walking by there, right? And there was a big window emblazoned, right? It was a fucking emblazoned in this window, right? And it said Judy Garland over the rainbow, right? So that was like a magnet that pulled me in there. Because my mum was always like about my sister Claire who had died, right? She went like, if I knew Claire was born on the 10th of June, the same day as Judy Garland, I would have called her Judy instead of Claire. So see, when I seen that, Judy Garland over the rainbow, and all advertising the window, I walked in the bookstore. It was like a magnet pulled me in, right? But see, when I walked in the store, it was like, vroom, right through me, like see that film Ghost, like woof, pure plugged in, like what the fuck, my DNA, the fucking hair stood on my neck. And Andy's like, what are we doing in here, John? I'm like, fucking, I pure plugged in. It happened a few times. It happened a few times. It happened when my sister had said, I've got a special relationship with Christ, you're an angel. It also happened one day, I was watching a video, my brother bought it called Champions Forever, and it was a book all about the greatest heavyweights. It was George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, Joe Fraser, or Larry, or them, but they were talking like we were warriors, we were fucking fighting for God. They were all talking about God, but Muhammad Ali's gone, I'm the greatest, I must be the greatest of all time. See, when he was saying it, it was literally as if my fucking toes were plugged into tail. It was like, vroom. He's gone, because in the Bible it says John the Baptist is the greatest man that ever lived, but at least in heaven is greater than he. So it was resonating with my DNA. It was like, vroom. I was like, yes. And it was time. My mum and my sister are sitting drinking, like, what are you doing, John? I was like, wait, you see it happens here, you'll never believe this, man. Oh, I think you know well, son. I goes, fucking wait, you see this? My daily hod, my iron brew, mate, wait, you see this? So I became hungry with Muhammad Ali. He was going, I'm the greatest in the Bible, as I said. I'm like, wait, you fucking see this, mate? So anyway, I'm fucking walking up. This thing's dragged me into this show. This Judy Garland. So that's Andy's, what we doing in here, John? I was like, Andy, you have fucked my karma up. We've come out and I went, Andy, a big tall guy, Andy, you fucked my karma up. There's something in that show for me. You have fucked my karma up. I goes, I don't even know what it is. I'll need to come back. I said, I'll need to come back one day and find out myself. I goes, but I'm going into St Paul's Multimedia. None's not working. It don't say a word. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I'll find it when I'm in there. Right, so that's fine. So that's happened. So we've went to the Hingway. We've done the Pope. We've done Muhammad Ali. We've done Pele. So a couple of weeks later, we're going to see Lenny Henry with Accountant Athletic. There's 50 going down to support Lenny Henry at the Pavilion, right? There's 50 going down there because Lenny Henry and...
So what happened to the Judy Garland thing?
No, but I'm going to get back to how this turns out. You're like, that's unbelievable. If the first two weren't bizarre, this is even crazier. You know what I mean? So it was like the Lenny Henry, we're going to see him. Lenny Henry and Robbie Coltrane have given Accountant Athletic £100,000 through Comedy Relief. They had a show just before you go to Brigden Cross. That was where our first premises was. They had a big fucking hang up and the check up on the wall, 100,000 Comedy Relief. So we're going to support him. He'd also done a docudrama where they're playing Fitba managers, a drug Fitba team, and he had said that he was reading an article, he was sitting on the toilet, and the article was wrote with Gordon Brown about this drug Fitba team, and he goes, I'm going to do a hang about that. So they'd done it all. So there was a connection there. We were going to support him 50-handed, so I jumped in taxis, motors and everything. So about 7 or 8 years, we need to walk down. But I'm no longer into this Accountant Athletic, and they're like, who is this fucking cunt? Who is he, man? You know what I mean? And they had, but see, back then I think fucking people thought Renfrew's now out of Hebrides, but it was 7 miles down the road. They're like, who's this wee cunt for Renfrew? He's mental. He's crazy. And I'm going, see Muhammad Ali, he said things and he made them harmed. I was telling him about this video, Champions Forever. I think I'd bought a few of them at the pound shop. I goes, watch that. And this is how you make it happen. So I was trying to tell him about Muhammad Ali. So a few of them are going like that. I was quite fucking hyper. And I think a few went, he's too aggressive, too fucking, John. Because they're trying to take the piss and I'm biting like a shark. So a few of them went, oh, fuck that. We'll just walk on. So we're going, oh, you got to meet Lenny Henry tonight, John. They thought I was a serial celebrity stalker. Like, you got to meet Lenny Henry tonight. So if I can't just hear, he's fucking... It's Jimmy Savile, the Pope. Who's next? You got to meet Lenny Henry now. I was like, I don't give a fuck about Lenny Henry. I do not give no harm to guy. I don't give a fuck about Lenny Henry. I goes, do you know who I'll meet? Fucking Muhammad Ali. That's who I'll fucking meet. Fuck Lenny Henry. Excuse Lenny Henry. Fuck him. I goes, fuck
Lenny Henry, John.
I goes, I know. It's fucking Muhammad Ali I'll meet. Right? So the ones that had walked away ahead, right? See the ones that had walked ahead? The ones that had said, too much. Get away. The other ones still taking the piss. Big Alec Goldfarb and that still taking the piss. Right? Blah, blah, blah. The ones that have walked up, they're about 100 yards in front of us, right? It starts pointing up at this window, right? It's John starts pointing up at this window, right? By the time we catch up at the window, right? Big poster blazing, Muhammad Ali coming here in like 3 weeks' time. A book signing. A book signing, right? He's coming with this guy, Howard Bingham, who's his mate for 40 years, who's done a photographic journey of his life. And
Aye.
this is like 10 minutes after I said it, Muhammad Ali. I was like, fucking hell.
Synchronising.
I goes, fucking hell, I'll be first there to fucking meet him. So I went up at 5 in the morning with this guy, Eddie McKnocker, my mate who's died.
Aye.
Again, drugs.
Aye.
Right, so me and Eddie went up at 5 in the morning, taxi up there, right? Ends up a queue of 3,000 people there, right? I'm first in the queue. I'm winding everybody up. I goes, a clash of prophets today. I said, I float like a spaceship. I stand like a whopper. I goes, I'm going, is that Muhammad Ali? You know, jumping about, I was pure hypered up, right? Blah, 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 blah. Right? So he came about fucking dinner time, 12, 1 o'clock. So we were there about 7 hours. Eventually he comes, likes Alan McCoy, and I get in the side door. How you doing, Muhammad, right?
Aye.
So I'm the first in to meet him, right?
Aye.
And he's sitting there. The two of them are sitting signing the books. It's him and this, our binging, blah, blah, blah. So I'm there. I've stood right at the top of him, right? And I'm staring right into his eyes like fucking... I'm staring right like the eyes of the out his soul. Like, come on, fuck me, it's me. Know what I mean? I'm like fucking pure crushing his horn looking right into him. But seeing I'd done it, he got and started dancing about the combination. I was like, security guard's like, you need to move on. There's 3,000 people here. You see, you need to fucking get a move on, mate. And I'm like, hold on, right, wait a minute. So I went round behind him. I went round, right? And I tell him, I goes like, I'm a prophet and all. He's like, are you a prophet? I was like, aye. I fucking said a wee bit more than that to him, but I was like, aye. He's like that. So I gotta get a few pictures of that. So we got pictures of that, right? Now, the punchline of this story was, right, where I met Muhammad Ali, right? So you've got this window, it's on blazing, Muhammad Ali coming, that's where I've met him. First in the queue to meet him out of 3,000 people, blah, blah, blah. It was all over the telly. It still flashes up and rewind the 90s. You see me getting interviewed when I came out. It's on that program. So,
I know, I've seen, you showed me the stuff.
So that window is on blazing, right? Muhammad Ali, right? Then there's a door, and then the next window, and the next window's on blazing, Judy Garland over the rainbow. And I met him in there.
Beside that?
It's the same show.
Same show.
The show I'd walked into 6 weeks previous where I said to that guy, there's something in that show for me, I don't know what it is, I'll need to come back. That's where I met him.
Do you believe Muhammad Ali was a prophet? Do you believe he was a prophet?
Well, I don't believe he was a prophet as in like he had a vision. I think he was very, 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 very gifted. I think if he had a vision for God, he would have told people all about it. He never, I've never seen any. He was a very, 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 very. Well, he was a Catholic to begin with, and he changed. He was Cassius Clay, and he changed to Muhammad Ali. But he was that outspoken. I never, ever heard him saying about he had a vision for God. If I say I'm a prophet, it's because I had a vision for God. Know what I mean? Muhammad Ali was just a very, very, very gifted guy who believed in himself and who was driven by God to carry the torch. Muhammad Ali went from being the haste-mated man in the world to the most loved man in the world when he stood against the Vietnam War and he won the fight and he gets his belt took off him. He was certainly a very... It's like we're all torchbearers. We're all torchbearers. I'm a torchbearer. Know what I mean? I'm a torchbearer. That's it. At the end of the day, I will become world famous. I'll become more famous than anybody I've ever met. The only thing that'll ever stop that is if I drop down deed, but a lot of twists and spin back to me and go, it was him that done this. It was him that done this. He was a real prophet. He wasn't a fake shake fucking load of bullshit. You know what I mean? So, but see him saying that, see him saying, I will become world famous. That's not being narcissistic, right? Now, see Princess Diana, who's a great, great person, the Princess of Hearts who done so much, and maybe she's seen enough of that when I need to get out of here, which she did, right? Whatever happened to her, nobody knows. She died, she passed away, right? But see Princess Diana was wee Diana for Costcutter and Figi. She wouldn't have been able to make an impact. You've got to make a global impact, you've got to become world famous. It's not about narcissism, know what I mean? It's like to make a so I will have like a Susan Boyle thing where it's a meteoric rise where it happens overnight and then I'll have a global impact. Know what I mean?
So obviously you've met Muhammad Ali, right? So you've I mean these are
that's the seed of the recovery, right? If you ever go to to me the 12-step recovery program is more powerful than the Bible. I can go to a meeting, might go to one Sunday, with 50 people there in Renfrew, the place is rocking. But if I go to church, I'm not feeling that same vibe. The 12-step recovery program, it's infallible. It's infallible. But the 12-step recovery program tells you a life beyond your wildest dreams. So the seed of my recovery is meeting the Pope Pearl Muhammad Ali. That's not the highlight. When I'm meeting Ephraim, I'm like, come on, it's fucking me. It's the guy with the good news. A prophet doesn't need any money. Once I tell somebody something, they think about what I've told them and they bring what I've said closer to fruition. So, it's like a bit like the walls of Jericho in the Bible I broke down with meditation. So if I've been doing this in Renfrew and Paisley for 30 years, which I have, on a daily basis, daily, end of a meet if I go into Asda, I was doing deliveries for 10 years. There's your curry or a pizza, whatever. And then I can.
No,
Like,
there's obviously there's loads of stuff, and obviously you're in the 12 steps, John. You've got loads of stuff going, right? So obviously you've got this life beyond your wildest dreams, right? You've got you
well,
obviously.
but
No, but what I'm saying is obviously you believe like that you're a prophet and things like that, and you've come, but some of the stuff after that, right? So what happens after? Because obviously a lot of the stuff you sent me, there was so much stuff to research. It was quite hard to go through, and obviously you've had this kind of went through the 12 steps. What kind of stuff started happening then after that?
right. Well, say Andy, the guy, right? He told me, and he said, I'm going to tell you this, John, but I'm never, ever going to tell Andy about this. I'm never, ever going to tell Andy about this. And I was like, what is it, Andy? And the exact words he said was, the God of his understanding called him to statue John the Baptist and Carfin to take me to Rome to meet the Pope. But when he started all that, I knew he knew. I knew he knew what he was talking about. I knew he knew something.
Aye.
I knew he knew something that there was no other person that could have told him, because nobody knew about it. Nobody knew. You know what I mean? The thing that had happened to me in the house on the 29th of August, I never ever spoke about it. I just, but I knew when I was just like, I put myself.
So what was the what kind of started manifesting after the 12 steps? You start going to football games and stuff like that for free. Champions League finals, World Cup finals. You're meeting celebrities.
To me, it was like we were using them like catwalk models. If I get a shot and get a picture of David Beckham holding our shot, that's where Milan models. We've got €2 in a bag of marbles. We've not got enough money there. Get a picture. I don't know. I don't need to be in a picture. They need to be in a picture. Holding that shot. They need to be in that picture.
It's phenomenal the amount of people that you've actually got with the shirt. It's phenomenal. It is. It's
what I'm saying, I know, is which I would like to get across is I'm saying there's going to be a global revolution, and it'll start in central Scotland, specifically Renfrew and Paisley, right? I'm born yards away from William Wallace. You've heard the ABBA song Waterloo. The history books on the shelf keep on repeating themselves. A guy born 400 yards away from William Wallace is the darkest horse of all time. The guy that unites the clans. That's it. When I was doing deliveries,
unite the clans on the scarf.
That's it. Unite the clans. William Wallace. But when I was doing deliveries, right, I've not done it for about 10 years, right, but I used to go to people's doors, pizzas, curries, right? See when somebody answered the door, I'd frazzle them on the doorstep. See by the time I wait, the effing food was freezing. And somebody shouting, what are you doing out there, right? But the way I see it, it's like, I was like a fisher of men. I was telling them, right? Now, this works like the walls of Jericho in the Bible I brought down. Whereby the walls of Jericho are brought down with meditation, everything's the same thing the wall falls down. So if you tell somebody something that's true and they think about what you've told them, they're bringing what you've said closer to fruition.
Collective consciousness.
Collective, like the walls of Jericho. The walls of Jericho, they marched around the walls of Jericho for 6-7 days chanting, and the 7th day it collapsed. So it's like, I'm tuning people into this. It doesn't matter if it dislike me or not. For them to move forward, they need to think it. It's just a positive energy. And I can go into social media and I can see things where it's the guy for Paisley walking to Munich for mental health, for a wee dance groups winning world titles and
you've done phenomenal stuff. I mean, I
can see the positive energy that's happening there, and it's meant to be happening there specifically for a reason, because Renfrew and Paisley's got a hidden history. The Cradle of Royal Stuarts or whatever, it's like you could say it's very staunch. Renfrew specifically, when you said you brought him Renfrew, I goes, that's a bit weird. It's very staunch. I faced a hell of a lot of sectarianism in my life. There's no doubt about it. I could go in here and tell you stories, unreal, right? But a guy said to me once, he went, John, I don't know if he'd done something to upset people, but he sent me a message and he goes, you used to be a emaciated guy in Renfrew, it's me now. I mean, I don't know what he'd done to upset them, right? But whatever. But it was like, Malcolm X said, if you tell the truth, you become public enemy number one. I was standing up. I was standing up
da Vinci
for all comers,
all
comers. See the guy that wrote the story about me in the big issue, The Prophets of Renfrew? I don't like a designer rave tap, right? Daniel James, right? And it was a big target, and I was sending out a subliminal message. Bring it to the party. Drug dealers, bigots, racists, bring it to the fucking party. Right, that's it, bring it to the party. Because I'm saying, to kick off a global revolution, this is you kick off a global revolution. We've all seen the pandemic, scamdemic, and it's what you believe about it and what you don't believe about it. I had to get 3 jags. I went twice to Istanbul, hair transplant. I went to Gdansk for the Europa League final, so I had to get all the wee stamps, right? So that's fine, I got a green light, I went there, right? But to kick off a global revolution, you only need to unite one area, and see, once you've united one area, it's like a formula. It's like flinging a stone in a pond, it ripples and it spreads like an inferno. No, I mean,
So-
this
so-
is the way this is going to happen. This is going to happen.
So no, and listen. Obviously, you've got your beliefs, John, and these are things that there is certain things that I've seen, and you've sent me so much stuff that is quite unbelievable. That's why the story we've got you on here to tell the story. But so, what is Renfrew United, the football team? How does that come into play then? Because obviously you.
Well, see, Renfrew, as I said, I was brought up there. Renfrew, the people of Renfrew know the history of Renfrew. It's very staunch, blah, blah, blah. In 1990, the 300 celebration of the Battle of Boyne, right? About 300 or 400 orange bands there, right? Know what I mean? No harm. I'm for Renfrew. See all that? You're up to your fees, knees and feet and blood. That doesn't ring with me. That doesn't equate with me. I'm like, right, who the fuck are these cunts? I mean, it's just like, I'm like, it's like, it's people that know it, they know it, they know it, and they know what it's all about. It's getting diluted now. It's getting diluted now because there's that many interdenominational marriages now where everybody's all related to Fenians and Orange people, and it's getting diluted now. But back then in the 60s and 70s, and no way was it diluted, and no way was it diluted whatsoever. Know what I mean?
So how does because obviously that you were sending me stuff about Renfrew United and stuff, and the amount of people that you sent me.
Well,
like Bob Geldof, right, walking out in Live Aid with the shirt and stuff like that. That these things, I mean, obviously these things. How do you do these things? How do obviously? And I know you. I'm asking, but how do they
Bob
manifest?
Geldof one, right? See the Bob Geldof one, right? See, I'm not. It's like see that painting, right? But I was telling you about. I was telling you about the centre point of Sister in Chapel, the creation of man. I've got direct contact. It's like I'm connected to it, right? But as well as that, it's biblical prophecy. The most rejected stone becomes a cornerstone. That's a metaphor for the most rejected is the most gifted. This person we have rejected for over 60 years. Something like this, like I tell you about wee Megan, she's very gifted, but she said to me, it's a blessing and a curse. It's like a blessing and a curse the journey I've been on. The most rejected stone. I've got sisters and brothers, they've all got teams of Waynes and grand Waynes. I've basically had to bray this for the last know what I mean? I've had teams of Waynes.
So is it coming?
I've had teams of Waynes and grand Waynes. I wouldn't be the most rejected stone. I'd have been surrounded with them all my life.
No, of course. So
it's like you've had to face all this rejection. It's like that guy that got the call, and he gave me a card with the painting Christ of St. John of Cross on it, right? And I've got it tattooed on my back because that's where that painting was up in the Kelvin Grove Art Galleries, right? The guys so I've got that tattooed on my back with the scales of justice on it. I'm a Libre, right? So it's like, where was I going there? What were you saying there? So anyway, it's like he gave me this card, right, with that painting on it, and it said the gift that's been bestowed upon you, it's no 1 ounce too heavy or 1 inch too. It was a big spiel about this is a gift for God, but it's like you've been measured. You've been measured. It's like forged in steel. God has tapered you and tapered you and tapered you.
I understand.
The mere rejection, it's just strengthened you and strengthened you and strengthened you.
So see the rejection you've faced, obviously, in your life, has it started to become new in Renfrew that people are accepting?
In Renfrew, I would say Renfrew pays like whatever. I would say, right, say like initially when I was telling people this 30 years ago, right, it was like John the Baptist screaming desert, nobody was listening, right? And in the Bible it says, John the Baptist, if they're not listening, dust them off your coattails. So 30 years ago, I was screaming desert, nobody was listening. It was just like, you're getting ridiculed or mocked and every cunt think you're a daft or something. You're like, just craziness. It's just crazy shit. But see now, when I tell people, they're listening and they can connect all the dots and they're like, this all makes sense. You can't make up what he said and piece it all together. Know what I mean? And I tell you, it's all connected to a biblical stone called the Stone of Destiny, which identifies the messenger of the world. There's four overturns in the Bible regarding the Stone of Destiny. The fourth and final overturn is when the true Christ sits upon the stone. The stone screams out, but no literally. It's the past, the present, the future, and it all connects like a jigsaw. And it doesn't matter if you're the Pope, the Queen, any other religious guru or charlatan, it's fucking take a seat. This all comes together majestically, and it's getting closer and closer and closer. Right? I was like to you, with my name, it's followed me all my life. I can't make my name up before I was born. Right? I can't make up where I was born. It's like, a plot's a plan, I'm the man, all roads lead to John Plott, I'm the king of the world. So I was born Johnson, that's the way it works. John Stone, oh I get it. William Wallace born next to me, Elderslie, that's your church elders. Now see, when Longshanks came to steal the Stone of Destiny 700 years ago, 1296, he's like, this is a symbol of fucking Scottish power and nationhood, and this is where the crown are kings and queens. We're going to steal the stone. They were coming to get it, right? They were coming to Perth. It wasn't called Perth, but back then it was called St. Johnstown after John the Baptist. You've got a team there, St. Johnston. They've got a wee hanging their badge, Angus Dairy, Lamb of God, and it's a lamb holding a saltire for John the Baptist, right?
Aye.
So when they came to steal the stone, right, the monks knew. I mean, they've been robbing people for centuries. I mean, they're still doing it to this day. £1 trillion took out the North Sea to build Canary Wharf in the city of Westminster. We've got 1,000 food banks, right? So when they came, right, it said, when you research it, people say they had it in Dusain Hill, and others say, no, they had it in the River Tay. The River Tay makes sense to me. Because the River Tay runs by Scone Palace and Scone Abbey, so it makes sense they had it in the river. But when I had the vision on the 29th of August, which years later I found out was the anniversary of the death of John the Baptist, right, I was staying in a place in Paisley called the Rivers area. It was Dundee, Annandale, blah, blah, blah. It's called after all the rivers. But I was staying in one Tay Avenue top right. And I'm like, so they had the stone in the River Tay, and this happened to me in the fucking Tay Avenue called after the River Tay. Do you know what I mean? It's all connected to this biblical stone called the Stone of Destiny. It's like, I've got a destiny. The Stone of Destiny's got a destiny, and that destiny lies in Scotland. It starts in Scotland.
Obviously, so when you were doing your 12-step program and stuff like that, obviously you've researched the Bible, you've done a lot of you can obviously tell you're well read on and kind of theology and stuff. I'm kind of interested because the stuff obviously that's the message that you're putting through, and that's the message. You're more than welcome to put your message on here and stuff like that. But the stuff that I was kind of taking my back with was the amount of people that you've been able to kind of get to where Renfrew United, it's phenomenal. Like the people that you've actually managed to do. How and I know obviously you're saying, but some viewers won't believe that. Do you know what I mean? They'll go like, I know you. But what I'm saying is,
it doesn't bother me when you face this. See, at the end of the day, it's like.
Do you think there's a manifestation thing, a law of attraction? Because obviously,
right. There's loads and loads and loads and loads of positive thinking books now. Everybody's tapped into The Secret, blah, 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 blah. Right? Now, I was working in the airport years ago, and a guy came up to me and went like that. He was an Asian businessman. He goes, I'm Can the Man. He goes, you're destined for greatness. The way you connect with people's unreal. The whole airport's talking about you. And he said to me, have you read The Secret? But a lot of people had said that, right? But see, The Secret, I was doing it 30, I was doing it. Well, that came out 2006, 2007. I was doing it for long before then. And it was not today about reading books. It was today with my own connection. But I understand all that concept of positive thinking. And that's all like sending out positive vibes. That's like sending out love. But everything today with me, people will go, the law of attraction. I heard Conor McGregor. I read The Secret. It changed my life. It wasn't The Secret that changed my life. It was a prophetic vision I had on the 29th of August, 1989. Now, he asked me about the Bob Geldof thing, right? Now, see the Bob Geldof thing? That started one day. I was out Castle Semple. It was Castle Semple. It was like just Kilwinning Way, whatever, right? And I was out there with my ex's daughter and her niece, and we were feeding swans, right? So we're feeding these swans, and then we left. We're in this Mondale, it's all done up. We always do all the colours up, everything's all Renfrewshire United, right? So we were out there feeding the swans. We were going away, right? And this song came on, right? And it was Eve Cassidy, and I hadn't heard it, right? And it was Fields of Gold. And I was listening to it, and that was resonating with my DNA. But I had a loose wire, and I'm going, I need to hear who sings that. And at the end, they said, it's Eve Cassidy. Right, so that's fine. I goes, because it was something there. It was Fields of Gold, that's where in the days that I live, we walk. So that was fine. So a couple of days later, I was in Asda in Govan. Songbird, Eve Cassidy. I goes, I'll get that. Then I heard Bob Geldof was doing this Live 8 thing, right? They were having big concerts all over London and all that. But they were doing this one called The Long Walk to Justice because the G8 Summit
that was huge,
they were doing the G8 Summit where it was, I can't mind if it, where it was very close to, was it, I can't mind it.
I remember
where it was. I can't mind where they were all meeting, but he was doing the concert to coincide with in Edinburgh, right? He was doing the concert to coincide with that, and he was calling it A Long Walk to Justice. Now, A Long Walk to Justice, he goes, we've got skills of justice. Was I'm a Libran, right? We've got skills of justice, that's fine. You're calling it A Long Walk to Justice. I goes, I'm going to give him a Fitbit shirt, right? So I said to this guy, he used to sponsor the team, he owned a few pubs, this guy Brian Bailey, right? So I said to this guy, I goes, I'm going to go to that concert. He goes, how are you going to get tickets? Because I goes, I'll win them, because you had to send a text, you couldn't buy them. I goes, I'll win them, right? So I get a text through, you've won tickets, that's fine. So I get a text through, blah, blah, blah. So I goes, we're going to get a shirt to Bob Geldof. So I went to Papers, I went to Sun, I went to Paisley Express, blah, blah, blah. And then I was at my work with my brother-in-law, we were working in Erskine, I was like a brickies labourer, and the phone went, and there was a woman on the radio, right? And she was wanting an interview because I'd got it in the papers, I'd got it initially in the paper. He goes, I heard you got to give Bob Geldof a shot, blah, blah, blah. And she said to me, would you know think he's a bit busy? And I was like, no, I don't think he's busy. How's he busy? A global message? He's not busy, no, he's not busy, blah, blah, blah. And she said at the end of it, mind and let us know if you date then. No bother, boof, see you later. Right, so I was like, right, Blue and Green United Clans is Irish, he'll get that. Right, we put Geldof 8 on the back. Geldof 8, G8, he'll get that. It goes a long walk to justice, the scales of justice. And we had a thing on there, it said, are you against drugs, with a question mark, which was Renfrewshire United or Renfrew United against drugs, plus a question mark. I was saying, are you against drugs? Everybody's saying, I was like, we'll give some money. And we're like, oh no, how much against them? Blah, blah, blah. So it was a double meaning on the thing. I goes, he'll get all that. His wife's died, Paula Yates of drugs. So he'll get all that, so we'll give him a shot. So I went and created energy, showed it in the papers, got it in the papers, got it in the radio, blah, blah, blah. And then the morning we were going through, I was listening to this Fields of Gold. It was as if it was like a boxer getting all psyched up. It was like
Rocky.
Through, I was listening to this thing on repeat. And it was coming on the radio saying, John Plott said they're going to give Bob Geldof a shot tonight at Live 8, blah, 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 blah. I was like, no bother. Right, so ends up drives through it. But I goes out early in the morning, 5, 6 in the morning, and I valets my motor, right? And there's a big fucking silver spoon stuck under the wheel, but I don't even think anything about it. I just valet the motor, right? Puts on an outfit, and I said, I'll change, once we get there, I'll change into another outfit, like Superman jumping in the hang, but my phone box, like, did they get the energy? Everything's all going to be right. So we've done that. I went through with these people. It's like me, Kenny, Maggie's boy, Big Ian, Big Toasty. We've all went, right, got to get this. So I'm telling everybody, we get there, I've got to get this Bob Geldof. That's a good idea, blah. We're in this Rosebud pub, but this guy for the Sun, his name is Derek Stewart Brown. He said, phone me when you get there, and I'll get you in the tent. Russell Blackstock will be there. He'll get you in the tent to present it to him, and we'll do a story on it. Right? I was like, no bother. So I kept phoning him, and he wouldn't answer the phone. He would not answer the phone. And I was like, And then we're in this Rosebud pub, and the Proclaimers come on. I could hear them. I was outside. I was like, it's just like, it's a green light. It's go time now. It's go time, right? Go. So he starts heading towards the stadium. So I phoned this guy again, and he answered the phone. I did not say a word to him. I was like a big spell. I went, hocus pocus, keep the focus. I said, I'm doing a Uragella here. And I buffed the phone off, and I just switched the phone off. I went, see you later. Right? And I went in, and we go there, and obviously people have queued up, and there's about fucking 30,000 on the pitch, and we're away at the back, and we're going to have to get right up the front. And it was these two lasses, and they were drunk, but they were saying they'd left their kids up the front, but they weren't. They were just getting on. I was like, just barge in behind them, me and Kenny. David Bryce wrote about. He said John always comes away with all these biblical terms, saying the crowd partied like a Red Sea. So we get right up to the front, right, and I seen that guy Maxie Jazz. See him that passed away a couple of years ago. Maxie Jazz. I seen him. Faithless goes, we're no faithless. I went, Maxie, fucking guy Bob Geldof, and I gave him a Paisley Express to explain what it was all about. I goes, fucking guy Bob Geldof, right? So he ran in and he came out. I swear quite a lot. It's quite trying to be expressive as what I'm hanging with. So I was like, fucking guy, but so he ran in the tent and he came out and he went like, he's got it. I was like, phone Big Toaster. I was like, watch this, wait, you see this, right? So he's walked in, he's done that, bang, bang, bang. Next minute, Susan Sarandon goes like, and here's a man. It's all live on telly. David Rice goes, something watching on the telly. And here's a man you're all waiting for, Mr. Bob Geldof, right? So he swaggers out. He's got on this white suit, right? And he's got a shirt hanging out his shoulder like a sash. Right, he's got a shirt hanging out his shoulder like a sash.
I've seen that. I've watched it.
There's two, because it's on the Live 8 DVD on the box set.
You can get it on YouTube.
That's for it's on. But I will. It's on that and all. But anyway, so here's the man you're all waiting for. So he's got these 200 foot screens either side him, right? Either side him. He's like holding the shirt up for ages. He's like, Renfrewshire United. Go.
I know, I couldn't believe it when I see
shirt. I'll sleep in it tonight. The next day he's pictured him and Annie Lennox holding the shirt. He's got his Paisley Express sticking out his pocket. Kenny's lap Bob's got his in his pocket. That's Bob's pyjamas. He's gone, I'll sleep in it tonight. You know what I mean? But the punchline again was, see about maybe 20 minutes, half an hour after he'd done it, the screens just went blank. And in white writing it came up, it said, I swear in the days that are left, we'll walk in fields of gold. And I was like, that was the thing I was listening to all morning. That was the thing that triggered me at Castle Semple. And I'm like, so, it's just pure.
Obviously, like, I'm just more interested in kind of this kind of stuff, right, for the viewers, right? Obviously, John, because this is the stuff that the viewers will like, right? So some of the other stuff, what is some, because obviously this, like the stories, it was hard for me to believe at the start until you showed me the stuff. So, just obviously, tell us about some of the football games you've been to, how you got there.
The World Cup finals, the World Cup finals, been to a couple of them.
And just no money?
Just €2 and a bag of marbles. We've jumped on planes. I made us going out with this lassie, and me and Kenny went to San Marino. It was the first time we ever tied up the flag, the big blue and green flag, go and tie that. We need to go, we need to get it on the telly. Goes into the travel agent. because before you booked online, they said how much your flight was, goes away and gets the money coming back. Half an hour later, it's went up. What do you mean it's went up? Oh, well, you're away, it went up. Oh, way back getting their money. Anyway, the same thing happens again. So it ends up going, so we went with nothing. By the time I came back, the last year I was going out with, I thought you had no money. I goes, I didn't have any money. I said, what are you doing? I goes, we're selling stickers. We're selling stickers. Ever a knacker a sticker? Buy one, get one free. They're like, selling stickers for £1. I was like, aye. Buy one, get one free. It's a bargain. It's a bargain. I mean, and that's just, it was like, we've all jumped on planes and just, it's like,
how did you get into the game, but?
Because obviously World Cup. See the World Cup final? When we got into the World Cup final and I met Alec Ferguson, Eric Cantona there, and I was like, I'm dead over.
They've got the photos of this as well.
So the World Cup, I went like that. The World Cup 2006. World Cup 2006, I was like that. I was watching this documentary, right? And it was Gary Lineker went to Maradona's door, right?
I remember it.
He went to his door and he chapped the door. He went there with a film crew. He did a documentary and he went like that, and he went like to him. He's not in, come back in an hour or two. So he went back. So he goes in, they have a wee banter, they have a wee bit of banter in the hand of God. They have their documentary. You can get it on YouTube, whatever it's called, the documentary, right? Blah, blah, blah. So he's done his wee bit of banter with him. And then at the end of the documentary, he goes like, I'll see you at the World Cup. I'll see you at the World Cup. And I was like, and 2 minutes later, my phone went. It was a big toast. He goes like, you think what I'm thinking? I went, aye, get Maradona. We're going to Germany to get him. Fuck him. He's getting
So how did you get Maradona? So obviously you've got Maradona as well.
So I drove out to Germany, me and Kenny. I get breathalyzed about 5 times. Me and him are high as a kite. We're high as a kite. And I don't drink. We're carrying on our lives. We're in this motor. We're frazzled this guy from McDonald's. He sponsored the team. He's given us sports motors, strips, allowances, scarves, mugs, pens. The guy's frazzled. This guy had This guy had the franchise for 3 McDonald's. So anyway, we're getting all this stuff. So we've drove here on this sports motor, this MG done up with the colours. Me and Kenny, we goes to Germany, Poland. No tickets. Buttons between us. A guy's running, he's late. And he just hands me a ticket. And he's like, come on. And I'm like, it's Germany versus Poland. I think 1-1, not in the last minute. I'm like, anyway, my mate, I said, I'll see you in there, mate. I was like, we need to try and get him a ticket. So gets Kenny a ticket. Goes, you go, I'll give me this guy. This guy's just on me a ticket. So we went in, that's fine. I goes, and now we need to go to the next game. We targeted to get Maradona. It was versus Serbia Montenegro. It was 6-0 or something. And it was in Gelkirch and Schalke Stadium. We targeted going there. So we goes there and it's like €400 for a ticket. We've not got it for €400. Blah, 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 blah. So the game started and all the touts. I've got rid of all the tickets. And this guy's €400. And I'm like, fucking €400, mate. We've not got €400. We're carrying a message to United Planet here. United Clans. We're trying to give him the message. This is what we're trying to do here. Know what I mean? So I've given the guy his bill and he's ended up giving us for about €78. It's strapped for 400, about 70 or 80. But we've only got one ticket. I goes, Ken's like, you go in, you'll get it to him. You'll get it to him, know what I mean? So I went in, and it's just as I went in, Cambiasso scored the goals, about 50 passes, and he scored a goal, bang. And then I've looked up, and Maradona's up in the sky. I'm miles away from him. Miles away from him. Like, how am I going to get this character? Know what I mean? And ends up, he went into a wee private box at half time. Then he came out. He came out and then he went like that. He came out, it was just before half time. But then I'd climbed into the VIP thing with, and I just held it up and he had a big cigar and I was like, come on. So I bounced into the VIP and all the security's grabbed me, tried to stop me, and I'm like, oh fuck this, and I just flung it at him. But he was holding it with his chest for ages and he was working like that, and the security's grabbed me and that. But ended up there's pictures online of people funny pictures, you know what I mean? But it was just, he got the jersey, that was that. I was like, right, that's fine. He's got the jersey. We've done what we came to do, right? But the initial thing was, we're going to go to the World Cup final. We're going to go to the World Cup final. So this big guy, Ian Toasty, they call him, right?
Because it's hard to get to World Cup finals, it's not easy to get tickets.
So, well, see with the World Cup final, Big Ian, it was him that had phoned me and goes, get Maradona. He goes, but I can't go. He'd went to Latvia and Estonia. He'd went hundreds of places. He's gone. He goes, I've no money. He said, but I won a competition.
He's a big follower of Scotland, hanging
so this big guy, anyway, he'd went like that. I've no money. He said, but I won a competition for the World Cup. I was like, no bother, Ian. Right, see you later. Right, whatever. Right, no bother. Right, whatever. So we've went and we've done the thing with Maradona. We've got the jersey. That was the thing. But we still want to go to the World Cup final in Berlin and carry the message there. So ends up, I puts my phone on and Ian's left a message on my phone. He's like, John, I've won a VIP trip to the World Cup semi-final with Toshiba. I need your passport details. I've won a VIP trip. So it ended up, it was meant to be England versus Brazil, but the two of them get put out and it ended up Portugal versus France. And it was in Munich, it was in Hingby. It was in
Was it
Allianz, Allianz Arena.
The Allianz,
So the tickets, this is 206, €400. That's how much the tickets may be face value. So we're there with all these Toshiba reps. There's 20 top selling Toshiba reps have been given a jolly up, right? They've been given a jolly up. There's me and him, and there's two Chelsea fans. Two Chelsea fans who's won a competition and all. It's all free food, free drink, VIP, bit of these placards and all that, right? But everybody's all getting wrecked. And we're not getting wrecked. We're trying to promote, right? So the Chelsea fans go, see all them that are here for the jolly up. I think you two have lost the plot. I think you two are screwballs. I'm like, what's these two Scottish cunts here with this Fitbit jersey carrying the message? What are they all about? What are they about? I can't have to read the two of them. Know what I mean? So I goes down to the bar and they're all wrecked out, they're not, and they're trying to take the piss. And I was like, this is after the game, right? We're all back in this hotel and it's all fucking, everything's all laid on. It's all, and you go in tents and everything's all, that mad placard things, VIP trip, all this. So they're at it, and I goes like to him, I goes, what you doing tomorrow? I goes, flying home. And they say to us, what you doing? I goes like, we're going to Berlin with the big chiefs, that's where we're going. That's the warm up, we're going to the final with the big chiefs. And they're like, would you think you'll get in? I goes, aye, we'll get in. Of course we'll get fucking in. Know what I mean?
And how did you get into the
So I had made up these three folders with about 7 or 8 pages, laminated them. I went 1, 2, 3, one each. One each. That's going to get us all in. Right? So we goes to this thing called, what was that called? The Intercontinental Hotel, I'm sure it was, right? In Berlin, and all the big chiefs were on there, John Laporto and Arsene Wenger, and all the big, Roy Houghton and fucking Andy Roxburgh, all the big chiefs.
And you managed to get all the
they were all in there, right?
And all that name, didn't you?
Aye. They were all in there, right? So we goes in there. I'm in there, and I'm in there, and there's this old Peru player, can't remember who he was. He looked like Muhammad Ali. And he played with him in the 70s, and he was trying to get a ticket, and we were trying to get a ticket. But we didn't have any money, obviously. So this guy walks by us, right? He's a Scouser. You all right, lads? See, as soon as I heard the Scouse accent, I went, where's the tickets? He's like, that's the price. That's the price. Patted the back. I was like, yeah, sit down, have a word with you. So I had a wee spill with him, right? So I pure frazzled him, right? Showed him a folder, and I gave him a spill, right? But his boss was this guy, Des, from Manchester. So he's like, what are they up to? So he comes out. So I frazzle him and I put my hand on his shoulder and I was like, mate, right. I gave him a spill and I just frazzled him and I showed him a wee spill and he said they had relatives for Dumbarton or something, but it's from Manchester, but he got relatives or blah, blah, blah. So I gave this guy a spill, right? And I went like that, I just grabbed him on his shoulder. I goes, excuse me, mate, could you donate a ticket to team for the final? He's like, no bother. No bother. He goes like, this was like on the Thursday. This was like Thursday. He says, give us a phone, Sunday. Finals on a Sunday. Kenny flies in on the Sunday. I'm like, hey, Toasty, you go and pick Kenny up at the airport. I'm going to see this guy doing this hotel. I'm going to go and see this guy doing this hotel. I said, and so I phoned him and he said, I'll see you down there in half an hour. So I went down and the Scouts are sitting outside. He went, it's went through the roof. He goes, it's all that mad category, a big scam. Category. Everybody wants category, but he's gone, it's €4,000 category, it's €1,600 category. It's all this. It was crazy money back then, 20 odd years. I think he said it was €4,000 for 8 and €1,600 for C or whatever. Right?
Crazy
blah, blah, blah. So he's sitting outside the Scouser. So I've walked in and the Des guy, he's doing business, right? They're in there, he's doing business. And he's just done that 2 minutes. Went 2 minutes. Done his business, just walked on, just handed me a ticket. Without even saying a word. And I handed him a shirt, plot 13. I handed him a shirt with plot 13 on. I goes, there you go. I handed him the shirt and I said, there you go. I said, one day that'll be worth me on the ticket. You know what I mean? And I gave him the shirt. And he just gave us it. And then as soon as I got there, Big Ian, whatever he done, whatever he was greeting and what have you and blah, blah, blah. But some Yahoo rep ended up, he's fucking, was somebody never turned up and he's begging and greeting and I ended. But Kenny got in with me. We were using these folders and we were buying a couple of security cordons. Then Alec Ferguson was there. And I was like, hey, Alec Ferguson. I was like, Alec, I'm dead overpowered. You're governor, I'm Renfrew, we're neighbours. You're Hammer Row, we're Renfrew United, because we're playing the same league as them. I was like, but I'm dead. I was like, get Eric in the photo. Here's Eric. I know, get Eric in. And I'd done a big inflatable salt tire horn. I was like, stick that on, Alec. And I got his mate to take a photo. He's like, you look like Kenny Everett. Like, oh, here we go. And it ended up all it ended up all the papers and everything, right? So anyway, so we've done that. I'm blagging Kenny in with us. And this woman's like, Kenny's waving this big flag about, and I was going, you need to get this flag now, you can't get in, you put it behind the porta cab now. No, I'm keeping my flag. No, if you keep your flag, you need to go. I don't bother, I'll go. I was like, what are you doing, man? It's a flag, but who knows?
See, like, if you were to actually take into, what if you actually blagged your way into, like, all in?
Champions League finals, fucking World Cup finals.
How many? Good for you. Because obviously you've sent me loads of photos.
We blagged into a Rangers game in Manchester and all. Right in the front door, walked right in the front door. Man, just mental. And we blagged a guy into the World Cup final in Qatar. And see that was bomb-proof. There was 3 different cordons of security, and there was mad grey trays and all that. And this guy phoned me up about a month before it and goes, he's going to come to the World Cup final with us. And I'd known him for a long time and he's never really went anywhere. And I'm going, you must have got a sign. So he told me the 2 things that happened. The sign's like, And I was like, right, well, I'll tell you this, for this minute onwards, right? I'll tell you a story. Do you want me to tell you a story? Right. So this guy Jason, we've known him for years, right? He used to take his kids to meet all the celebrities. He knows every taxi, every flight they're coming in, every hotel, right? He still does it to this day. His kids are all grown up, all get good jobs. His daughter's a clinical psychologist. They're out of all that, but he's done all this for years since they were Waynes, backstage with Cher and fucking and limousines with, what's his name, M&M, standing outside the airport. Please stop. And their tickets not. So he's done hundreds of blags, right? So all of a sudden, out the blue, he goes, he wants to come to World Cup final. I go, Jason, that's not Jason's department. What's happening here? So your phone said he was going to come. So he's ended up, he's paid £1,000 for a flight. So I goes, oh, he must be coming. So I went like, I goes, Jason, something must have happened. He goes, something did happen. He goes, I met this woman. She was an architect. She designed one of the stadiums and it was shaped like a woman's womb. He goes, I met her.
That the nest one.
I can't mind what one it was. To be honest, I can't. There was 7 or 8 of them. But anyway, he'd met this woman. She was an architect. He said, but something else happened. I was like, what else happened? He goes, John, I used to work in London. I know he went up and down. He always in all the hotels, or he would stop me at Lowry, Manchester, doing all his thing, what he's doing. He goes, and I was going up and down all the time to London. He goes, I always went through Lockerbie. He goes, I had a pure obsession with this Lockerbie disaster. He goes, I ended up like becoming a tour guide. He goes, the work would always pay for somebody to come and we would get food, blah, blah, whatever. I would just take somebody with me, whatever he was doing. He goes, a pure obsession with this. I knew everything about it. The engine landed here. This was in the Crescent. He goes, I was like a tour guide for it. It was unreal. He says, so, one minute I've met the woman, she's an architect, she's designed one of the stadiums. He goes, then I phoned Big Toasty, and Toasty goes, we're going to go to Frankfurt for a couple of days, and then we're going to go to Qatar for 4 days for the World Cup final. He goes, and then we're going to fly back to Frankfurt for a night, then we're coming back to Scotland. He says, so we go back to Frankfurt, and then we fly from Frankfurt on the 21st of December home. He's going like, the Lockerbie plane flew out of Frankfurt on the 21st of December. I'm gone. Because he was scared of flying. He's been 10 times abroad since then. It was only less than about 18 months ago. But anyway, he came. But see, when he said he was going to come, I was like, Jason, see if you want to come. I goes, you've got to believe for this moment onwards, you're going to get in. If you believe it, you're going to get in. See if you don't believe it, it'll not happen. I'm telling you the now, right? You've got to believe it. It's like what we done in Germany at Berlin, right? It goes, you've got to believe it for this moment. If you believe it, we will get you in. And I'd already read about what it was going to be like at this place because we were scared about a terrorist attack. So he says, go right. So he ends up, he comes with us, right? But he needed a visa now to get in the country. So we knew a guy who we'd met in our travels and he'd went to 56 out of 64 games. He goes, all over the world, this guy. All over the world, you name it, golf. This guy, but he's like a bloody millionaire. But he does all this. So he'd went to 50. He couldn't do 64, otherwise you need to do 20 minutes, leave and get the last 20 minutes. So he'd done 50. I goes, can you get Jason a visa? Kid on one of the tickets, this is. Right, so he got the visa, so that's I'm in. So ends up we goes. I was like, so Jason said to me, see that time you met the Pope, John? This is when we were in Frankfurt about the night before it. He goes, see that time you met the Pope? How did you meet him, John? How did you meet him? I was like, I tell him about the painting and the manifestation, whatever you want to call it. I concentrated, that was exactly why I said it. So he was like to me the next day, he goes, see when you tell me that, he was like to me, he said, see when you were telling me, he goes like to me, the hairs were still on the back of my neck when you were telling me that. I goes, that's fine, right? So we goes there, we flies to Hingway, we gets there, we blagged first class flights. As soon as we blagged the first class flights, I was like, this is going to happen anyway. We'll get beds and all sorts, know what I mean? It's like Big Toasties, where it's right, he's on a wheelchair, that's part of the blag, right? This big guy's 6 feet 5, 30 odd stone, can't really walk that well. So the wheelchair's part of the blag, right? So it's like, we goes on the plane, he's like, I've been upgraded to premium economy. I was like, that's good. So me and Jason sits down in premium economy. These two guys come up and go, that's your seats. Know what I mean? So instead of walking backwards, we walked up the front like that, right through the curtains, pressed back and legs up, here we go, right? But I had a placard with me and I gave it to the captain, and it must have been a German captain, right? I had a placard that went viral, right? About England, right? It went viral, so I gave it to the captain, he goes, I'll put that away somewhere safe for you and all that, right? So me and him have sat down, the stewardess knows we're at it, right? We know we're at it, right? So they're coming up with, it's like, as if you're in a restaurant with a menu, and all the bedding's all wrapped up, blah, 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 and it's all, whatever. I don't drink. I say to Jason, do you want Spanish, Italian, German? What's the best? Whatever, right? So I just keep coming up, following up, and just kept coming up with food, more food, and I'm like, send him, we're just winding Big Toast up, because he's trying to wind us up. I send him back to steerage to Biggie and cakes and all that. He's raging, and the stewardesses went, Biggie and's raging, you're in here, as if he's stuck us in, as if, get it, walkers. So anyway, so we blagged that, so I goes, this is just the start. It's just, because know what it's like? It's like a surfer waiting in a wave, and then the wave comes and you just ride it. And before you go anywhere, or before I ever go anywhere, all sorts of mad coincidences start happening. Like, wait, see this, man. So when that happened at the beginning, I went, this is all good. So the next day we goes to the game, or whatever day it was, we went to the game. Gets down there, him in a big wheelchair. They've got 3 sets of turnstiles. They've got one about 1,000 yards away from the stadium. They've got one about 500 yards away from the stadium. And they've got one right on the door. Right? So I goes, right, so I've got on a kilt and a placard and a World Cup, and it's all props and that. Whoa! Or I was just carrying on, right? You got the turnstiles, right? So I've got a carer ticket for him. He's got a ticket. He's got a free carer ticket, right? So he's ended up getting tickets through his disability ballot. He's not on the global ballot, he's on the fucking English ballot. So he's got them. But he'd said to me about 6 months before it, well, I put in for these. I went, aye, because... And then he said, we have to find out on the 31st of May. Sure as hell the 31st of May came. He's like, I've got them. I'm like, yes, here we go. So away we go. So I goes through first, see where the Hingway ticket. But I'm creating that much carry on. And the way I'm all dressed up, so just, what's going on here? We're high as a kite. We're high as a kite. We're not full of drugs. But we're high as a kite. We've got a World Cup ways. We've got a placard. We've got a kilt on. We've got a Scott. Boom, right through. Come through in a couple of minutes. 5 minutes later, they come through kidding on Jason's a carer. But Big Toasty's frying. He's in a wheelchair, frazzling him. He's going, look, I've got a letter off my MP. I have to get my Lucas head in, because you're not allowed in with bottles or nothing. I've got a letter off my MP. So they had them mad grey tray things, everything's going through an X-ray and all. So it's all that's carry on. So the first turnstile they went through, no bother. Second one, same again, no bother. Third one, I went through. 5 minutes later, they've not come through. 10 minutes later, they've not come through. 15 minutes later, they've not come through. I goes, I'm going to get dragged off his seat. I need to watch. Something's went wrong here. Next minute, I see a big security guard with a vest on, pushing big Ian like that. I'm like, oh, hold that, man. Right, no bother. Something's went wrong. Wait, he disappears. I was like, what's happened? He goes, I'm fucking grabbing my phone off me, and they're going, we know he's your carer, but where's his ticket? He going, you've transferred the ticket to John Plott. Who's John Plott? And I said, I don't know. So he's get stopped at a third turnstile, right? I'm like, oh, wait a minute here. Takes a wee picture of it, because they're on apps. Fucking take a picture. I'll take a picture of your ticket. We'll send it out on WhatsApp, right? There I goes, as long as I've not kicked him out. Right? If he's away back to start, he's snookered. He's fucked. If he's only got one more turnstile to go. Now, we could have took 100 people there, right? We could have took 100 people there. But only one of them would get in, because he believed it, right? So it ended up, he's showing him all these pictures, all these people he's met, and he's got a kilt on, he's got a Renfrew United jersey on, he just keeps grinding them down, keeps trying to get pally with everybody, he just keeps looking at an opportunity. Next minute, 2 big sheiks walk in, just walk right in the door, he's like right in behind them. He said, I was on a live to my son, like, I'm getting chased with a ball. He goes, my legs were wobbling, he got up the stair. It was I think he missed the first Argentina goal, then he took a picture of himself in Argentina and he sent it her on WhatsApp. That was it. See that I know. See what I was saying to you, right? See when he said to me, how did you meet the Pope? And I said that, and he said, the hairs were still on the back of my neck. See when we arrived there, We arrived about 6 in the morning in this big compound. They'd built all these flats and all that for all the fans all over the world. Right, they spent 200 billion. Before that, MD, the most MD ever spent was 20 billion. They spent 200 billion.
They went all out.
The infrastructure was unreal. So anyway, so he's talking about, right, how, so I tell him, right, but when we arrived at 6 in the morning, Big Toasty's frying him in a reception. He's getting a key to a flat. We're getting keys to flats and all that. I was like, and he goes, what, a sleeping tablet, Johnny? What, a sleeping tablet, Jason? I'm going, it's acting like a drug dealer. That's why I get his fucking beheaded or something, right? I was like, oh, shh. So me and Jason went out, right? And we stood outside, right, while he's getting him all the info, right? And there was a big flag and it was tied between two windies. And see the painting I'm talking about, the creation of man. It was tied between two windies, but only they'd replaced God with Maradona and Adam with Messi. And I just went like, you're in tomorrow, as a sign. Because I go in signs, I goes, you're in tomorrow. Jason came back for a World Cup. I went to a World Cup final with a prophet. But he believed in it, happened.
Obviously, I mean, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal story. And we'll go into kind of what's happening now with you, John, because obviously there's things, we've got obviously the podcast kind of coming up kind of near the end, but what's happening now with you? Because obviously you sent me some stuff with the kind of Dance for Freedom with QFX, stuff like that. So what kind of stuff's going on now?
We done a demo of the Dance for Freedom thing, and I've been promoting it for more than 10 years. We done a demo, we shot it off the cuff. It's a 6-minute video. You've seen it, people thought that was amazing. The two lasses that sing it are absolutely amazing. Megan
brilliant.
Absolutely amazing. Gemma Stevens.
Megan's lovely.
These people are really gifted, right? So we done this demo, right? But even when we done it, we just shot it all off the cuff, right? Starts off a part of their train spot and we get off the train. Where are we going, John? The road to the promised land of Scotland. Come on, let's go. It's tongue in cheek, but I'm going, no, that's actually where we are going.
No, it's good.
See the story I tell you, it's hidden the lyrics of that song. Everything's hidden the lyrics of that song, whether it's about John the Baptist, the Stone of Destiny, or William Wallace, right? It's all hidden the lyrics of that song. So I was like that. Now we were always, these referendums kept getting put off, and there's going to be another one, there's going to be another one, there's going to be another one. Now I always promoted that, and I was like, this is going to be bigger than Gangnam Style, because we're going to do it with teams of drummers, dancers, pipers, a choir. All the lyrics is amazing. I goes, there's only one more lyric to in that, and it goes, it's like you get the concert singing you get the choir singing the thing with the chorus, right? And I goes like that, and just come into the microphone and go like, and the world starts dancing. I'm like, yes, here we fucking go. So that's it. So about it's like, end of enemy on 2 brain cells ago. If that's the beginning of his recovery, where's he gone with this? Every enemy's global. It doesn't matter who I meet. It's like I went to Hampden not long ago, and it was the 150th game. Met Gerard Butler, put on my headlock. He's like, get the fuck. I'm like, Gerard, you're for Paisley, I'm for Paisley, settle down, my man. He's like, oh. So just to that, I tell you, I goes, Hingway came out, what's his name? Sir Tom Hunter came out with a tartan suit. Now, I read about him, and he started in a van selling trainers or whatever, but ended up selling his business in 1998 for 250 million. So he's a philanthropist, millionaire, billionaire, I don't know what he is, but he came out with a tartan suit on, and he couldn't have been any nicer. I was like, Tom, excuse me, Tom, can I have a picture? And he's like, I bought out a picture. I goes, he was very, very nice there, but he walked down the stairs, and I went, I'm not finished with him. I'll go to frazzle him. Jumped down the stairs, I went, Tom, see that 2 things, because I done the shirt. I go, see that and that. See that and that. I go, see they 2 things combined. I goes, a global phenomenon bigger than the Beatles. I goes, no, it'll kick off in less than 2 years. That song and that. I goes, when I stopped drinking 30 years ago and I met the Pope Pale Muhammad Ali in the space of a month, that was the seed of recovery, the highlight. So I gave him a zap, and he picked it up, and he went like that, did you tell Theo? And I went, no, Elrana, tell Theo. Who's Theo? He went, Theo Pacetus. I goes, no, tell him. He goes, there is there, tell him I know. I was any bother. Give him the message, and that's it. I mind one day we went.
Did they ever give you money for
no, but see, to be honest, I never ever asked them for any money. See, to me, it's like I'm a fisher of men. Once I've met them, they're on the net. When this snowballs there like that, it's like the Las Vegas slots, pennies dropping their head. Like, what the hell's going on here? I'm like, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Of course, it's going to happen. I mind one time I went to see, what's his name? Peter Jones. He was doing a thing down in West Kilbride. It was auditions. It was auditions for this thing. It was on Sky called Tycoon. I think it was only on for one series. It wasn't Dragon's Den. So I went down there with
I kind of remember. I kind of know what you thought.
I went down there with this boy. His name was John McInnes. His brother played for our team. He had a knife in the heart. He died, right?
I seen that. I said it was a shame.
We had Sky Sports out at we were playing there at the time. We had a pitch there. Said we're here at home of Braveheart, William Wallace. He got killed later that night before it was even on the telly the next day. But so I went with his brother, and we went down, and I gave Peter Jones a mug, a pen, a scarf, in a jersey. I gave him number 29 because I researched him and it said when he was 29, he had everything, he lost it all. When he was 29, he turned it all around about. So I goes, give him number 29, right? So I gave him a shirt, right? And then I was standing at the end of the table, giving him a spill. So I've given him a spill. I go, see that? I goes, see that football crest there? I goes, that's the most powerful crest in world football. The scales of justice, right? That's the most powerful crest in world football. I goes, and see that there? That there is a pluribus unum. I goes, that's on every American dollar bill. And I goes, it means out of many one, creeds, colours, religions. I goes, see that there? I goes, it's bigger than Manchester United. He was like that. he turned around and goes to me, he turned around and said, first he said to me, John, he goes like, what do you make of what he said there? He goes, everything he says spot on, right? And he goes like, and he just turned around and went like, you've made my day. Whatever the spell is, you've made my day. Your ambition's mind-blowing. And
your vision can't be. I mean, it's whether people believe this or not. Exactly, it's your vision. If I drop
Dundee, it'll still happen. It'll still happen. People, it's like what I tell you about the walls of Jericho. People have already tapped into it. They don't know what they've tapped into.
Just for viewers' purposes, right? Who are the people? Like, just even who's the list of people that you've managed to kind of bring on?
David Beckham,
right?
Amy Winehouse, Liam Gallagher, Tom Jones.
I mean, you can actually see all this. It's madness. If
we get a picture of them with the shirt, I'm happy. That to me is liquid gold. One day, it's like...
What I will do is, obviously, but when our podcast goes out in a few weeks or whatever, I will get all the photos to kind of show that you've done that with this. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people will watch this and go, I
had a guy researching a book about me, right? And he's an author. He's wrote about 7 or 8 books. His name's Christopher James Stone. I've been wrote about in 3 books that are published. David Bryce put a picture of me and the Pope in his book, and underneath it he put the caption. Every Plott thinks, who's the guy right with John Plott? Because he was going through a religious experience when he came here. He said, but there was something about him for the very off. There was something about him for the off. He picked up the rest of him. It was too much for the day. David picked up. I mind he'd done his Player of the Year dance at the Launches book, and he had Irvin Welsh, because Irvin Welsh done the forward. They had people like that there, Knicks, Rangers players and boxers. There's a load of people there at this book launch, and just out of nowhere he shouted me up to on out the Player of the Year award, and I did. We started main hang this time, and he said to the audience who was there, he said, you might not have heard about this guy, you're going to hear a hell of a lot about him. Because to me, Davey was in tune like there's something here. The rest of the boys just think he's lost the plot, but
whether people believe that or not, it's the evidence. There's evidence to back up that your vision's there. I mean, whether people believe it or not, or as you say, it doesn't matter. It's phenomenal what you've achieved in the way that.
My confidence is sky high, because I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen because it's been revealed to me. But the way I see it is, it's like a Susan Boyle shot. Everybody's laughing, nobody's laughing anymore. And I'm like, do you like that? Do you like that? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You know what I mean? Because it tells you in the Bible, a prophet doesn't need any money. That guy wrote a story about me in the Guardian. He said almost single-handedly he's transforming this whole place, but nobody knows he's doing it. Nobody knows he's doing what he is doing. They're all tapping into it. I can see all the positive energy in Renfrew, in Paisley. I can see all the positives, right? Paisley had a big cloud over it, drug wars and Tamazipan wars and all that, right? But it's always darkest before dawn, right? And then eventually, that place has got such a hidden history.
Is Renfrew kind of starting to do you feel the energy starting to pick up in Renfrew and stuff now?
I can see a lot of positive things happening in Renfrew and Paisley. But the guy that was researching the book about us, that wrote about me in a couple of books and came and stayed in my house umpteen times, right? He wanted to call the book Wounded Nation, with a subtitle possibly the greatest book ever written. But all the drug war things, he ran away. He just went, that's too much, because he wrote books about subcultures, and this guy jumping about dressed as King Arthur, and he wrote all these books and all that about all that kind of stuff. All this other stuff was too heavy for him. But I was like to him, I was like, Chris, see in reality, see with a subtitle like that, it's got to be a roller coaster, it's got to be an inspirational story where people go, fucking unbelievable.
Because there's obviously
But he also said 2 very, very, very clever things. He said this, the day your team wins the League or the Cup is the day the most rejected stone becomes the cornerstone. The whole community rises your football club. Now, our 30 years, we've knitted that many people in the community into it. But soon it becomes a massive success. They're all part of a massive success. They couldn't see it at the time. Know what I mean? The day we do win the League of the Cup is the day they make you. After that, we'll win forever. We'll turn like an alchemist. We'll turn like an alchemist like Goldfinger. We'll sell that to the whole world. We'll sell this bit of shop to the whole world.
How's it going? How's Renfrew Unit? How are they going now?
The team's very undisciplined. It's always been very undisciplined, but we're getting there. This season we've won half our matches and drew the other. No, one half and lost half. We're getting there, but it's like, see, in like that, it's going to take a big effort, and it's going to have to take discipline, and they carry on, and we will get there.
And are you the manager of the team?
I'm the manager. I run the football team. I run the football team, but to me, the song, see the message. The message is bigger than the football team. The message is, you know what I mean? The football team doesn't need to play. See this football team? I wouldn't need to play a game for 5 years, and this thing still grows. This thing grows on a constant basis. If we go to the World Cup final, if we go to anything, in that we're doing, I always run about in tartan motors with everything on it, all the messages, everything all wrapped.
We'll show it all.
We've had all that. We have been involved in a lot of crazy shit that was like, I don't know, man. It's just... That's maybe for another time. I think we've ran this podcast just
it's coming up to the end. But so what I would like, obviously I always give the kind of guest the last kind of message. I always kind of give them, whatever, if it's a positive message for somebody, whatever you want, John. But I mean, your story's phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? Whether people believe it or not, they can go and research it. I will put up all the photos, I'll put up all the evidence to show that you're telling the truth with it all. But what would your message be to the viewers of Social Sessions? The message
is to unite the planet, is to start. You only, as I've said, it's a formula. You only need to start in one area and it'll spread like an inferno. That's what you just need to do. Know what I mean? It's like, to me, MD to get in touch with God, right? You've got these people out with a big scary book saying you do this, you do that, you're in trouble. Where it's the Quran or the Bible, these big scary books. It's like, to me, MD wants to get in touch with God. You don't need to go through the middleman. You don't need to go through the church, the chapel, the synagogue, or the mosque. Go straight to the source and go, come on, God, let's see some action here. Know what I mean? Because it tells you in the Bible,
do you think
when you
can become a prophet? Or do you think...
Effectively, if you've met a prophet and he spoke to you and you've tapped into it, it's like... Wee coincidences will start happening, then they'll get more and more powerful. They'll get to the stage where God is a case of God, you're scared to sit down in case you sit and tap him. You're like, this is not a coincidence. I'm connected to the source. And what I'm saying is people don't need no harm, not being disrespectful, but people don't need crowns, gowns, or anything else like that. Know what I mean? They can go straight to the source. Know what I mean? They can go straight to the source.
No, I believe that.
Because I gravitate towards all the people that have been rejected all their life, whether it's drug dealer or people in addiction. I gravitate towards all that. Know what I mean? They say revolutions through the course of history are when the people at the bottom of the pile get organised and start to rise. That's what's happening here.
Well,
know what I mean?
You see, I've often used this quote, like when you see Dostoevsky, he always says, like when he wrote his book, like Crime and Punishment, you look at the prison systems to see the state of your society, and our prison system's terrible now, do you know what I mean, John? So we're hopefully picking things up, but I can't see it. I think the world's getting worse.
I'm an eternal optimist. You only need to start in one area, and that's it. You only need to unite one area, and it spreads like an inferno right through Scotland.
No, you need that
spreads through Scotland into borders, down to Manchester, Newcastle, la. But I'll say this: see, when we started years ago, this guy was a photographer, and he was walking by this phone box one day, and there was 5 lanes playing around about the phone box. But it was a lassie that helped me start all this, and she was right involved at the beginning, but she died of breast cancer a couple of years into it, right? So this picture, it was 5 lanes playing around a phone box, so it was like a TARDIS. It was as if it was the centre point of the... So we used that as an advertising campaign. We were like, wakey, saying drugs are out of fashion, so the Tories. I was basically saying that the Tories were manufacturing drug addicts through poverty, like these kids didn't really have much a chance. I spoke to one of them on the phone the other night. Now, 4 of them became drug addicts. And I said, what happened to the other lassie? Because I didn't know the 5th lassie. Goes, I don't know what ever happened to her. Her family moved away. But the prediction I was making in the poster at the time was, these kids are going in the grinder. And that's what happened. 4 of them that I know in the 40. Know what I mean? And we've also, I'll lastly say, I heard I heard somebody saying on one of our podcasts, £1 billion industry needs to get took out the hands of criminals, legalise drugs, regulate drugs, and that is the way forward. Take it out the hands of the criminals, right? And
style.
I heard somebody saying on a James English podcast that it was an ex-policeman. He goes, "You'll never solve it." I don't believe that. I believe in one area you could solve it. When I go to a meeting in Renfrew, there's 50 people, the whole place is buzzing. I took a lassie here, she's 90 days straight, and she's shouting for the rooftops about this. I says to her, one day, I'll not mention her name, one day, I says, one day, people will be like, you can't get mad with it in peace. These fucking people are everywhere. They're everywhere. And that's all you ever see. If you go on social media, you'll see, what is it they say, kitchen talker to mountain walker. They're everywhere.
No,
and see people once they do that, it's going to go out of fashion, because people that aren't taking drugs and they're doing their kitchen talker to mountain walkers are going to be higher on the kite than the people who are getting full of it. Know what I mean? I'm the eternal optimist. Know what I mean? The eternal optimist. I do believe one day we'll have this. We'll have this world where, and to me, it'll start in central Scotland. We'll have a global revolution. Revolution will unite the whole planet.
I love your energy, honestly.
John Lennon, imagine all the people.
I do, honestly. I love your energy, and I love the optimism, and I often speak about it on here, and I probably don't do enough of it myself. Do you know what I mean? But positive thinking is huge. I mean, thoughts are the most powerful things that you'll ever get, and they control everything that you do. Do you know what I mean? So the way the outlook you've got in life, some of the stuff that's happened, it's hard to explain the amount of stuff that you've done. Do you know what I mean? So there's definitely stuff there that would say that you're tapping into something. Do you know what I mean? There's definitely something that you're tapping into, because the amount of stuff that you've done is pretty phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? So again, I'll give you the quick wee last message. We're just coming up to the end, John. Absolutely brilliant having you on here. It's been great, but just a wee final message for the viewers.
I'll get quickly how you can tap into this in the simplest form as what I can explain it. When I was drinking, I never took a lot of drugs. Maybe if I was in a situation where people take cannabis, whatever. But drink was more a thing that ain't that I ever done, right? So, you know, I was drinking and taking drugs. I was always in the wrong place at the wrong time. Stabbed, caused, jailed, relationships, burnt all my bridges and all the doors closed. Because see, when I was drinking, I was full of aggression, frustration and resentment. I was on a train of thought, and I got off at all the wrong stops. And people could see me at the end up and go, avoid him like a plague. He's a screwball, he's trouble, blah, blah, blah. Right? Now, the flip side of that was when I stopped drinking 31 years ago and I met the Pope Pale and Muhammad Ali in the space of a month, I developed the ability to be in the right place at the right time, and I've never lost it. A green light will go off my head and go, let's move. And we've all got that magic ability. But see, your brain, it's like a muscle. You've got to train it and train it and train it with more and more positive thoughts. And if people drain your energy, you've got to go like there a baboon for. See you later. But the New Testament, we'll finish with that. The New Testament is be a good cunt. Be a good cunt. Don't be a greedy bastard, and help as many people as what you can along the way, because we're heading to this magical time. I love that message. Heaven on earth.
Love it. Love that message. Listen, John.
Cheers.
Absolute pleasure, man. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Cheers, Sean.